On the eve of the year 2076, a game suddenly descended into reality. Countless perilous dungeons, accompanied by hordes of monsters, invaded the humans. Powerful creatures ruthlessly slaughtered humans, placing humanity on the brink of extinction. However, alongside destruction came bestowed divine talents. Humans began to awaken as mighty hunters and eventually rescued the world from the clutches of monsters, and from on, a new order dawned upon the world. The strong were revered, and survival of the fittest became the law. Therefore, hunters had to continuously grow stronger to solidify their positions. In pursuit of greater power and wealth, formidable hunters delved into various dungeons, challenging bosses, acquiring treasures, and leveling up, marking the beginning of the era of global hunters. At the Hunter's Square, someone stepped into the stairs and let out a sigh. It was a young man, and he mentioned that he could have at least obtained a rare profession. But he never expected what happened. The people behind him were sneering at him, and the young man, whose name was Su Yong, looked so disappointed as he revealed that he ended up awakening into the most ordinary warrior class. Su Yong explained that in the early stages, warriors faced difficulties in close combat, and were prone to casualties, and after investing significant time and effort in cultivation, their late output still couldn't match other professions, so in that world, compared to other professions, warriors were the most mediocre and common profession. Suddenly, a guy called Su Yong's attention and remarked that he heard he awakened into the most rubbish warrior class and that it was quite a perfect match for him, and Su Yong seemed to have recognized the guy. The guy stated that a freshly awakened warrior is just an ordinary person with a bit more strength, so Su Yong, the orphan with no money or guidance, won't even have a guild to accept him, so he should just be a laborer as it suits him. But suddenly, Su Yong clapped his hands, asking where that fly came from, and the guy was startled as it made a loud, smacking sound. Su Yong recognized the guy as Wang Fei, his classmate, and as he acknowledged that he heard he awakened into the rare Ice Mage class, he congratulated him. He pointed out that he heard mages have weak physical strength right after awakening, and he asked about how they should test it out at that moment. Wang Fei was so pissed that he cursed, and he retorted that Su Yong awakened into the most garbage warrior, and still daring to be so arrogant, he and his group prepared to gang up on Su Yong. But Wang Fei was startled when one of his men called his attention and informed him that he should look quickly. Su Yong also turned to look at what they were looking at, and he seemed to recognize those people. As a group of armored people walked up the stairs of the Hunter's Square, one of the people announced that they were the raiding team from the Spirit Hunt Guild, and another exclaimed "Holy crap," and that they did not expect to encounter the Spirit Hunt Guild's raiding team there. Su Yong commented that it was one of the strongest tier guilds in East Spirit City. A guy who is a level 95 4th Hunter Storm Archer walked behind a guy and commanded that he should get out of the way as he was in a hurry. Wang Fei quickly moved past Su Yong while Su Yong recognized the person as the vice president of the Spirit Hunt Guild, Zhao Ming, and he acknowledged that he had only seen him in promotional materials before. Wang Fei approached Zhao Ming to ask if he was there for recruitment, and he expressed that he had always admired the Spirit Hunt Guild, so he inquired if he could join him, and Su Yong was surprised at what Wang Fei did. The woman behind Zhao Ming clarified that the person in charge of recruitment is down there, and they are the reading team, so he should get out of the way. But Zhao Ming asked Wang Fei what his profession was. Wang Fei proudly declared that he is an ice mage, a rare profession, and he specializes in control, and Zhao Ming affirmed that it was good, so they should give him a card, and Wang Fei thanked him profusely. The woman agreed, and she instructed that Wang Fei should go down later and give them his card, which Wang Fei confirmed he understood, and Su Yong just stood there, thinking that he couldn't believe it went smoothly for the other professions and wondered if it would be the same for him. Another guy asked if he could join too and stated that he's an archer, and another guy chimed in and claimed that he's a thief. The woman looked annoyed, and she remarked that archers should check with the branch, but they have no time for thieves, so they shouldn't waste her time. Su Yong turned to ask the woman what she thought about warriors. The woman glared at him and commanded to wait. As the raiding team walked away, the other guys were left kneeling on the stairs, while Su Yong was surprised, and she remarked that the woman actually ignored it. Su Yong wondered if it was reality. He declared that in that world where the strong are revered, only strength matters because, usually, the chosen profession of hunters determines a person's future potential, so from the moment he chose warrior, his fate was already sealed. Su Yong was thinking that even lower tier guilds are hesitant to accept warriors, let alone elite hunters like those gathered in the Spirit Hunt Guild, while the other guys said that he envies the raiding team so much that he also wants to join a guild and become a powerful figure like them. But the other guy with him suggested that he should save it because they are a 4th Storm Archer. The guy stated that, however, he did not expect to see the vice president of the Spirit Hunt Guild there, and the other guy asked him if he hadn't heard that day Spirit Hunt was planning to raid the Black Dragon's lair, so they might be using the teleportation gate there to get to the entrance of the dungeon, and when Su Yong heard that, he looked shocked. When he heard about the Black Dragon's lair, he couldn't help but turn and try to ask the guys about it. Su-young knew that the Black Dragon's lair is the largest S-tier dungeon in City C, and it not only has numerous small monsters but is also filled with powerful elite creatures. And although death in their world doesn't mean immediate demise, instead, one loses levels and experience until their level drops to 0, it is deadly in the competition between top guilds, especially considering the risk of losing rare equipment. There is also the most terrifying boss, level 99. Black Dragon, Black Flame Wings Athos, and he had heard that even the strongest S-ranked guilds have fallen at its feet. Su-young mentioned that the others remarked that the Spirit Hunt Guild has a large number of hunters at 4th Transcendence or higher, and they have never failed a raid, so he speculated that maybe they really can do it. As Su-young thought about the Black Dragon and hunters, he observed that indeed it was a world only for the strong, and he wondered if he was destined to be a pauper in that life, trampled under the feet of those powerful beings. Suddenly, a system appeared, and it notified Su-young that the perfect soul host was detected, so the boss part-time system will be bound soon. Su-young's chest started to glow, and he was surprised while the other guys near him seemed unaware of what was happening. As the system notified Su-young that the boss part-time system had been bound, Su-young inquired if the system was like a cheat and what the part-time boss meant. The system explained that it requires Su-young to act as a boss, resisting players entering the dungeon. It elaborated that after Su-young kills a player, they will share the experience and equipment drops, and as it questioned Su-young if he would like to activate the role, Su-young understood that the system wanted him to resist players as a boss. Su-young explained that typically, players heading to raid a dungeon boss form a team, ranging from a minimum of 4 to as many as 8 to 24 people, or even massive 100-player raids. So if he could defeat them, the experience and loot drops would be plentiful, instantly boosting him from level 1 to Transcendence level, and if that were the case, even the most rubbish warrior could quickly become strong. However, Su-young wondered what awaits him if he is defeated by players. Suddenly, the system notified Su-young that he was unresponsive, so it would soon unbound, and the countdown began, which surprised Su-young. And he noted that it could happen like that too. Su-young trembled as he tried to push a button while the countdown continued, and he commented that it seemed like taking advantage also comes with risks. With 3 seconds left on the countdown, Su-young declared that instead of being killed as a boss, he didn't want to be stepped on forever. Su-young pressed a button, and he acknowledged that it was the only way to become stronger. He agreed and stated that he would start working part-time. The system notified Su-young that he had chosen, so the system was activated, and as the system notified him that the part-time teleportation was initiated so he would be jumping soon, Su-young's body started to dissipate, and he was pleading in his mind to give him a powerful boss. Suddenly, Su-young woke up in a rocky place with fierce monsters in front of him. Su-young opened his huge eyes, and he was wondering where that place was and if the part-time job worked out. When he saw that there were a lot of different kinds of dragons in front of him, 2 level 80 Dark Claw Flying Drivagons, a level 86 Dragon Blood Monster, and 4 level 95 Elite Drivagon Warriors, Su-young was surprised that they were all dragon monsters, and he wondered why they looked so small because, in his impression, dragons should be quite tall. Suddenly, a mysterious man in a cloak called him their noble king. He asked Su-young if he had awoken from his long dream, and as the other dragons knelt in front of him, Su-young wondered if they meant that he was the dragon's king. Su-young could not believe it, and as he wondered if his part-time boss could be a level 99 dragon boss, Black Flame Wing. The system congratulated him on his success and informed him that his current boss is the Black Dragon's lair level 99 boss, Black Flame Wing. Inspecting his current body, Su-young wondered if it was him and if he had really become the Black Flame Wing. Suddenly, he noticed the system notification. The system showed the information of the level 99 boss, Black Flame Wing, Black Dragon Athos, at a young stage. It showed him his talents, Dragon Bloodline, which makes him immune to 80% of physical and magical damage. Destruction Black Flame, which enables him to release destructive black flames without consumption, causing tons of magical damage, and Dragon Suppression, which can reduce all attributes of creatures below his level by 20%. It also showed him his skills, Dragon Blast, which unleashes an incredibly powerful blast that causes 300% strength attribute physical damage, Dragon Roar, which causes all beings with spirit values lower than his within a radius of 300 meters to be stunned for 5 seconds, and Dragon's Eye, which makes him view any space within the territory instance. And as Su-young wondered if those were the ability values of the Black Flame Wing, he exclaimed that it was too strong. Su Yang remarked that a level 99, 4th transformation player at most might break one attribute, but the Black Flame Wing not only breaks all attributes but also has a terrifying strength of over 3,000 points. But that was not the most exaggerated part, as the key is in the talents. He thought about the 80% dual resistance to physical and magical damage, along with a permanent aura reducing attributes by 20%, and that putting those two damage reductions together makes it almost invincible, and to add the exclusive skills to those, there was simply no way any player could be his opponent. Su Yong's eyes glistened as he exclaimed that an endless amount of power was surging through his body. He roared loudly as he proclaimed that the feeling was unbelievably refreshing. Su Yang mentioned that as long as he could defeat players and share their experience points, even though his original form is the most useless warrior, he could level up quickly. Suddenly, Su Yang was startled when he heard that there was a wailing, and as the other dragons collapsed to the ground, the mysterious man urged that he should calm his anger and requested that he calm down, which made Su Yang realize that it seems like he accidentally unleashed the dragon roar skill. Su Yang smugly commanded that they should rise while calling them a bunch of useless beings, while he was thinking that it should be the tone of a boss. The mysterious man trembled as he acknowledged that, no doubt, Su Yang truly is his king because, even currently in his youth, he has such power, and if he reaches maturity, crushing the human world will be just a matter of time. And when Su Yan heard about him being in his youth, he remembered that the information on the system also mentioned that, but he wondered if bosses in instances aren't normally fixed at a certain level. Su Yan was wondering if the Black Flame Wing could actually level up when a clanging sound from a cage near him caught his attention. An elvish woman was in the cage, and as she called Su Yang the damn evil dragon, she asked what he was up to again. The elf warned that if Su Yang had any sense, he should release her early. Otherwise, the elves' race would surely make him pay. And when Su Yang heard about the elves' race, he wondered if they were the NPCs in that instance. Su Yang curiously poked the cage while he was thinking that after the game descended into the world, many fantasy races appeared, but it was the first time he had seen real elves. Both the elf and Su Yang were alarmed when they felt a spatial disturbance, and Su Yang wondered what was happening. The elf looked relieved, and she exclaimed that it was a player and that finally, a hero had come to rescue her, so it was the dragon's doom. But she was not able to finish her sentence when she saw Su Yang staring intently at her, and as she asked him why he was staring at her like that, she exclaimed that the dragon usually ignores any insults, so she wondered why it was suddenly reacting that day, which she found strange. Su Yang recalled that it was the Spirit Hunt Guild, and he commented that he didn't expect them to arrive so quickly. He remarked that the Spirit Hunt Guild's strategies seemed to have never recorded failure, so he wondered if they could really defeat him. And although the Black Flame Wing is powerful, the Spirit Hunt Guild must have prepared thoroughly before coming to the challenge. Su Yang commented that just to be cautious, he would use skills to investigate first, and he used the Dragon's Eye skill. He heard that someone commanded that everyone should stay alert, as that day's strategy must not fail. Su Yang saw Lai Dan, a level 98 Holy Light Shield Master, Qian Yuan, a level 96 Healing Paladin, Zhao Ming, a level 95 Storm Multi-Shot Archer, and Lei Shan, a level 99 Destruction Thunderstorm Master, who were all at 4th transformation, and he stated that he found it, they were the main assault team of the Spirit Hunt Guild. They declared that on that day, they must penetrate the Black Dragon's lair and defeat the Black Dragon. They exclaimed that as long as they could defeat the Black Dragon, reaching the 5th transformation was just around the corner, and as one of them excitedly commanded that they should go, Su Yang commented that they were quite confident. Someone on the team called the Guildmaster and informed that they had detected some small monsters ahead, 8 flying magic wolves, average level 80, and wind attributes, and Su Yang stated that he would test the power of those little monsters first. The Guildmaster, Lei Shan, remarked that they shouldn't waste time on low-level trash, so tanks should just go in front to tackle those. As the team did what Lei Shan ordered, Lei Shan commanded that the others should use fire attribute attacks and max out the output quickly. Su Yang watched as Lei Shan instructed to keep the formation and to continue to move forward, and Su Yang noted that indeed, it was the Spirit Hunt Guild because, whether in firepower or discipline, they are absolutely top-notch. So those small monsters can't reveal their full strength at all. He noticed the kneeling dragons in front of him, and Su Yang acknowledged that he got it. Su Yang mentioned that they were a professional team as he watched Lei Shan ask his team how much progress has been made in the instance, and Zhao Ming reported that about 1/10 while supplies are keeping up and there have been no casualties. Lei Shan commented that it was good so they should keep pushing. Suddenly, Lei Shan was puzzled when he saw one of his team members tremble in fear while looking at something, while Su Yang declared that he would give them a bit more difficulty. A huge dragon landed behind Lei Shan, and as one of the team members asked him what it was and exclaimed that it fell from the sky, another team member uttered holy crap and that they should look at its stats while Lei Shan questioned what was going on. The dragon was a level 95 elite Dragon warrior, and as it roared and announced that intruders were detected, Lei Shan panicked and shouted that it was an elite monster, so they should defend quickly. But before they could get into formation, the elite dragon warrior charged towards the team members. Lei Shan was surprised, and he asked himself if it was teleportation while the elite dragon warrior attacked and proclaimed that they would meet their end. But Lei Dan asserted that he would do it, and he used his Divine Light Shield barrier, which is immune to all damage for 10 seconds, to protect the team members. As Zhao Ming advised that they shouldn't panic and the ranged squishies should fall back while the melees engage first, and a light buffs and burst to focus fire on the target. He prepared his storm arrows that deal multiple high wind attribute damage to the target. The elite dragon warrior groaned as the team's attacks hit it. Su Yong was thinking that indeed, they have some strength, so a dragon warrior alone can't pose a significant threat to the Spirit Hunt Guild. While the elf in the cage remarked that he startled her as she claimed that he, the stinking dragon, was up to something, but he sent his lackeys to their deaths, which was useless. But Su Yong conveyed that since one wasn't enough, he grabbed more elite dragon warriors, which startled the elf. The Spirit Hunt Guild was surprised when they saw more elite dragon warriors coming their way, and they asked what was happening while Su Yong thought about the other 6. One of the team members exclaimed that it was happening again, and they were all elites, and they all looked terrified as they called Lei Shan and reported that there were 6 of them, which was too many. Zhao Ming also called for Lei Shan and inquired what they should do as they had never encountered that situation before, and Lei Shan cursed and remarked that that day was really strange. Lei Shan declared that elite monsters are nothing to be afraid of, as their guild doesn't play around and he specializes in elites, so they should bring it on. Everyone moved accordingly, as Lei Shan instructed that they should reform the formation to prioritize healing for the injured while tanks maintain the aggro, and pay attention to facing away from the crowd, and that they should protect the healers and heal the tanks. Meanwhile, Su Yong, who was watching the fight, observed that they were really tenacious, and he was thinking that he initially believed that using elite monsters in unexpected situations would drive them back. But the team has chosen to fight to the end, and the elf admitted that the players are impressive and that Su Yong's tricks won't work against her, so he should just obediently wait for his demise. As he continued to observe the team, Su Yong muttered that, however, that level of strength shouldn't be enough to defeat him as a boss. The team defeated the elite dragon warriors, and as they continued to move forward, Su Yong wondered if they had any unused cards. Suddenly, Su Yong noticed something, and he questioned why the team wasn't coming towards him, but instead, they were going in the other direction. Su Yong looked closer as he pondered that there could be something over there. He saw that the team was heading towards the Dragon Slayer's tomb. Su Yong saw a glowing skeletal corpse, and as he inquired what it was, the system notified him that it was a quest item called Dragon Slayer's Heart, and wearing it allows the wearer to ignore the talents of dragons. Su Yong was alarmed, and when the other dragons noticed the ominous change in his expression, they asked him what was wrong with him. He did not answer them as he was thinking that he got it. He murmured that it was just like the strategies in previous online games where players can weaken the boss's abilities through certain mechanisms or items when faced with a boss with almost invincible resistance, and he realized that if the team could ignore his talents, there is indeed a possibility of defeating him. The elf was startled when a strong gust of wind made the cage she was in sway. She whispered that it was not even close to the trigger, so there was no way that Su Yong was going to be leaving the lair early. But Su Yong flew up in the air, and as the other dragons were surprised that their Lord Ottos himself was taking action, the others cheered and exclaimed that their king would surely triumph. While flying, Su Yong mentioned that the team already knew about the item. He burst forward at an incredible speed as he declared that they could not let the Spirit Hunt Guild get their hands on the item. Meanwhile, someone walking cursed and muttered that they didn't expect so many surprises when they just entered the instance, but there were no surprises along the way. It was Zhao Ming, and he called Lei Shan and informed that the supplies and equipment durability consumption far exceeded expectations, so he asked if they could be deceived by the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Lei Shan responded that it was impossible because the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion is a well-established strategy group, and they have their guarantee, and he exchanged the strategy using the universe ring with the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion so it couldn't be fake, which Zhao Ming accepted. Kai Yuan chimed in and commented that they are probably not far from the Black Dragon's lair, so he asked if it wouldn't alert the boss if there was another unexpected situation. And Lei Shan explained that it was impossible because the Black Dragon is just a boss in an instance with power, and with its intelligence, as long as they don't initiate an attack, it won't leave the lair, which Kai Yuan acknowledged. Lei Shan stated that the Black Dragon is just a stepping stone for their guild, and since it has caused so much damage, he is going to take it all back from the Black Dragon. Kai Yuan gave Lei Shan a 2 thumbs up and confirmed that it was no problem as the Black Dragon is his, but he has had his eye on the elf for quite some time. So as long as they complete the Elf Maiden's Easter egg, not only can they obtain a pass to the Elven Kingdom, but the Elf Maiden will also obey their commands. He laughed mischievously as he hinted that Lei Shan knew what he meant. and Lei Shan agreed that as long as they get the Dragon Slayer's heart, victory is in their hands, and at that time, Kyan Yuan could do whatever he wanted. But suddenly, Kyan Yuan was puzzled when he saw a huge silhouette up in the clouds, so he called Lei Shan and reported that some scattered monsters were coming. Zhao Ming asked if they could fly and noted that it seemed to be small flying dragon monsters, but when Lei Shan heard about the flying dragons, he was surprised and remarked that they were guard monsters, so he wondered why flying dragons would appear there. But when Zhao Ming looked up, he was agitated, and he exclaimed that that size isn't a flying dragon. Kyan Yuan was also alarmed, and as he observed that it has such a huge size, he was about to speculate what it could be. Su Yong towered over them with his gleaming eyes, and Kyan Yuan identified that it was the boss, Black Flame Wing. Lei Shan could not believe what he was seeing, and as he gasped that it couldn't be, he asked why the boss was appearing there. Zhao Ming gritted his teeth and accused that those bastards from the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion actually really deceived them. Kyan Yuan asked what they should do at the moment. He wondered if they had to fight, he would ask how they could fight without getting the Dragon Slayer's heart. He looked so terrified as he called Lei Shan and urged that they should retreat quickly, while Lei Shan was speechless and his expression looked so grim. Su Yong smirked as he looked down on the Spirit Hunt Guild, and as he wondered if they were afraid to fight without the Dragon Slayer's heart, he taunted that the supposedly invincible Spirit Hunt Guild was just like that. But that is good, so he should just eliminate them and level up in one go. Su Yong began gathering his aura, and Zhao Ming noted that he was going to use its skills. But suddenly, a lightning bolt descended from the skies. It hit Su Yong in the head, which caused 2999 damage, and Su Yong was taken aback. It was Lei Shan who was producing such strong lightnings, and he commanded that none of the team members are allowed to leave, so they should get back to their positions. He asked them if there was anything they couldn't fight and reminded that his guild isn't weak either and it was just a beast, so that day he will give it a try. Lei Shan promised that if they slay the Black Dragon, he will generously reward everyone with money, equipment, and women, and everyone exclaimed as they were pleased with what they heard. One of the team members urged that they should kill the Black Dragon and take all the loot. Another claimed that elves belonged to them while the rest divided among themselves. Another one ordered that they should take their places and prepare to start. And when Su Yong heard them, he cursed in his mind as he noted that one by one, they were swayed with sweet words. Su Yong stood so menacing and tall, and he challenged that since that was the case, the Spirit Hunt Guild should come at him while Lei Shan was preparing to attack and advising that the output should hit hard. Everyone prepared themselves as Lei Shan instructed that Lai Dan should activate the strongest defense barrier immediately, and grab the hatred while the healer's mana regeneration skill supports Lai Dan's defense. He also directed that Kyan Yuan should maintain the holy light while the support classes apply all single target buffs to him and Zhao Ming to maximize their output. Lei Shan mentioned that according to the guide, they are not far from the Dragon Slayer's tomb. But he was cut off when Zhao Ming got startled and called for him, shouting that it was the dragon's tail. Su Yong was about to hit the team with his tail, and Zhao Ming warned that everyone should get down. A loud, booming sound could be heard as Su Yong slammed his tail into the ground. After which, he noted that all are big moves, so he should focus on defense just in case. Lei Shan was determined, and he urged that they should go. Everyone from the team threw their skills at Su Yong, like the Dynamic Thunder, Annihilation Pillar, Inferno Fist Fury, Thunderous Bold, and Cyclone of Destruction. A huge explosion occurred as soon as those attacks hit Su Yong, and Su Yong was engulfed in the flames of the explosion. Lei Shan looked hopeful as he encouraged that they should prepare for the second wave of attacks and that they should at least take down 5% of the dragon's health first. But his eyes went wide in surprise when he saw something. Su Yong hid behind his wings, and seeing his health bar, Lei Shan was surprised that he couldn't help but exclaim that they had only dealt 10,000 damage with all their strongest skills, while Su Yong thought that it was right because those guys had no equipment, which is why they didn't even break his defense. Zhao Ming called Lei Shan and noted that the dragon's damage reduction talent is so insane that they can't deal effective damage to it, which made Lei Shan curse, and he commanded that they should hold on for him first and continue attacking and draining its health because the dragon's health hasn't dropped to 3/4 yet, so it won't release skills anymore. As they bombarded Su Yong with attacks, Su Yong was bored, and he grumbled that it was annoying as it was like being bitten by a swarm of mosquitoes. Looking at the team, Su Yong observed that even though the strategy had failed, they were still outputting, so it seems like they were still hopeful. But Su Yong smirked as he declared that it would end there. Su Yong used his dragon roar and the ground crumbled. Lei Shan and his team were surprised when they got hit by a strong surge of aura and got consumed by it. Looking at the annihilated team in front of him, Su Yong proclaimed that it was over, and it seems that even an 11 guild is not his match. Meanwhile, Lei Shan was still conscious, and while he was wondering why the dragon released the skill at that moment, he urged that his team should hurry up and get back on their feet. Lei Shan noted that the boss would be paralyzed after using the skill, so they should keep attacking. But he trailed off when he looked behind him and saw that everyone was down. Su Yong leaned over to Lei Shan, and Lei Shan was alarmed. Lei Shan was enraged, and he cursed as he questioned why the damn black dragon didn't get paralyzed even though it released the skill. Su Yong prepared to launch another attack, and he started gathering his energy in his mouth. He let out a powerful breath of fire and scorched everything in front of him, which made Lei Shan scream in pain. While he was being consumed by the flames, Lei Shan cursed the black dragon and vowed that he was not finished with it yet. Suddenly, the system notified Su Yong that the intruders had been completely eliminated, so the experience conversion was commencing, and it congratulated him. Su Yong was flooded with system notifications of the experience points he earned by killing each member of the team, and as he felt something flowing in, he wondered if it was experience points and if it was over. Looking at his experience bar, Su Yong remarked that the leveling up just won't stop and that the experience bar was about to burst. The system notified Su Yong that he had gained 990,000 accumulated experience and that his level had advanced from level 1 to level 20, reaching the level cap before the first transformation. And due to the experience overflow, 40% of it was lost, and currently there was 430,000 remaining experience reserved. It requested that Su Yong complete the transfer as soon as possible, and when Su Yong saw that, he was surprised that there was still overflow experience, and he speculated that this level could continue to skyrocket after the transfer change, so he might even reach level 42nd transformation within that day. He commented that its speed and efficiency are simply terrifying. Su Yong noticed the shiny things on the ground, and as he inquired if he got equipment drops, he remarked that in a high-level guild like Spirit Hunt Guild, he was sure to get some good stuff, maybe even some rare gold level items. He cursed as he saw the diamond tier equipment, the Storm's Call longbow, the Wind Sprite's Call necklace, and the Cloud Flow boots, and he also saw the platinum tier equipment like the Right Remnant staff and the Flame Greatsword. And Su Yong observed that they actually dropped 3 diamond tier equipment and several platinum tier ones too. Su Yong noted that, if he remembers correctly, the bow is the main weapon of Zhao Ming, and he laughed in his mind as he observed that the Spirit Hunt Guild must be bleeding out at that moment. And he noted that although warriors can't use it, taking it to the auction house could easily net him billions, so it was a huge profit. He was pleased as he looked at his inventory and noted that he got basic agility potions, intermediate strength potions, skill scrolls like Flame Baptism, and Rock Barrier, which were nice, and it was too good to be true. Su Yong's eyes widened in surprise, and he cursed when he noticed something. It was the special item Broken Boundless Gem, which eliminates level restrictions if embedded in equipment, and Su Yong explained that the item was powerful because with it, even a level 1 newbie could wield platinum tier equipment that originally requires level 61. Looking at the Flame Greatsword, which has a level restriction of level 79, Su Yong stated that among platinum tier equipment, it was the most suitable for his warrior class. He added that so as long as he used the Boundless Gem, even though he was only level 20, he could use platinum tier equipment, seeing as the sword has traits of flame enchantment, which consumes mana and adds 40% of strength attribute as flame damage to attacks, and it also consumes all mana to summon a flame giant for 10 minutes with a cooldown of 24 hours. Su Yong remarked that with it, he would be able to kill anything. Suddenly, the system notified Su Yong that the current part-time boss was about to end as the instance was about to reset, and there was a countdown of 5 minutes, but he could also choose to return immediately by confirming and clicking yes. Su Yong mentioned that he couldn't wait to go back and change jobs, so he would be returning immediately, and he clicked the button. A pillar of light shines down on Su Yong. He was teleported into a room, and as he asked if he just went straight home, he commented that he thought he would return to the job change plaza, so that system was quite realistic. Looking at his stats, Su Yong was pleased, as he noted that he was really level 20, so it was not a dream, which was awesome. Su Yong decided that he would allocate 100 points in strength and 50 in spirit because, although warriors usually don't add spirit with the system, he can't just follow the usual path because, like the scrolls he previously obtained, they have minimum spirit requirements to use, so adding spirit will be beneficial. He suddenly released a powerful surge of aura, and as he asked if adding points actually caused a burst of aura, he clarified that it was because he added 20 levels worth of points at once, so his strength has greatly increased. After the burst of aura dissipated, Su Yong noticed that his room had become a mess, and he admitted that he should try not to overdo it in the future. Looking at the time, Su Yong realized that it was already so late and that it was too late to go for the transfer that day, so he decided that he would rest in the meantime and go to the temple to take the transfer quest the next day. Su Yong was pumped up as he proclaimed that he would complete the job change. A few hours later, at the Spirit Hunt Guild Hall, a banner celebrating the guild's breakthrough in the diamond-ranked secret world of the Black Dragon's lair was hung in the entrance, and the people inside were surprised when they saw Lei Shan, asking him why he was back so soon and if the instance had ended. It was the woman from earlier, and while she looked at Lei Shan with a horrified expression, she asked him why his level had dropped, and she was about to speculate if something was possible. The woman asked Lei Shan if the group died, how it could be, and if it was not the same strategy as the one given to them by Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. And Lei Shan, whose level has dropped to level 90, instructed the woman to stop mentioning them. He cursed the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion for daring to cheat them with a kind of crap strategy, and he complained that he traded the Universe Ring for it, and they treated them like fools. Meanwhile, Zhao Ming, whose level has dropped to level 86, was unconscious on a stretcher, and when the woman saw him, she asked what happened to him, and someone reported that Zhao Ming's diamond tier main weapon exploded, so he was quite shaken, and his injuries were severe, so he was already passed out. It was Cayenne Yuan who was explaining, and he began crying as he mentioned his diamond tier boots and the elf palace, while Lei Shan's expression was grim as he continued to curse. Lei Shan declared that the esteemed S-rank guild Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion actually dared to sell fake strategies, so he is going to find them immediately and demand an explanation, as they won't get away with not clearing that Black Dragon instance. He was enraged, and he vowed that he wouldn't rest until he got answers. At Nanshan Orphanage, the children were calling their grandpa, and they told him that he should come and have a look while men were unloading huge containers, and they were amazed as they remarked that there were many things. The grandpa asked one of the men if they perhaps delivered to the wrong place, but the man replied that there was no way because the address clearly indicated there, and as he confirmed with the grandpa if it was Nanshan Orphanage. He mentioned that the client was a young man named Su Yang, whom the grandpa recognized as Little Yang, and he wondered where he got so much money. While one of the children was running around, the grandpa was alarmed when he noticed that the boxes placed inside the container van were about to fall on her. The girl was unaware of the danger, and while the man near the boxes was horrified, the grandpa yelled as he called her name, Xiaotao, and warned her to be careful. Xiaotao froze and was horrified when she finally noticed the boxes that were about to fall on her. Suddenly, a hand moved so quickly to save Xiaotao. It was Su Yang, and as he effortlessly caught the falling boxes with one hand, he commented that it had been a long time since he saw Xiaotao, and Xiaotao called him Big Brother Su Yang. The other kids saw Su Yang and exclaimed that it was really their big brother Su Yang. They ran to gather around him and cheered that he was back and that they missed him so much, and Su Yang expressed that seeing them lively like that puts his mind at ease. The grandpa observed that Su Yang has become so powerful, and as he asked him if he has already chosen a profession, Su Yang explained that he just changed profession yesterday, and by a stroke of luck, he made some money, but in his mind, he reflected that he had sold a lot of loot from spirit hunts, and the money was endless, that his current account balance was 60 million. The grandpa asked Su Yang if he joined a raid team for dungeons, and as he advised that he should be sure to be safe because the monsters in the dungeons were really fierce, Su Yang couldn't help but imagine the black flame wing, and he awkwardly agreed and acknowledged that they do seem pretty fierce. The grandpa was worried as he cautioned that newbie changers could lose levels and die if they were not careful, but Su Yang assured him that he shouldn't worry because those monsters are pretty obedient, so they can't hurt him, and that he was going to the temple to change professions that day, so he would be off. The grandpa was confused with what Su Yang mentioned about being obedient and changing professions when he just awakened. A few moments later, at the profession change hall, a hunter asked if they heard that the spirit hunting guild got wiped out yesterday while raiding the Black Dragon boss, to which another hunter responded and confirmed that they had heard about it a long time ago. One of the hunters shared that he heard that there was trouble even in the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion branch because it seemed like there were problems with the dungeon raid and the Spirit Hunt Guild had gone to the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion to seek justice, and as the other hunter noted that he never imagined that the conscientious raid group, Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, would do such a thing. Su Yang passed by and observed that it looked like news of the failed Spirit Hunting Guild raid had spread. Hearing about Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, Su Yang realized that the Spirit Hunting Guild only dared to challenge the Black Dragon because they bought their raid strategy, and it was rumored that Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion is a top-tier raid group with many 5th-tier experts, so if there's an issue with the raid strategy, they should be coming to verify it soon, and they will probably be his next opponents. Su Yang speculated that Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion must have a lot of good stuff, but the premise is being able to take them down smoothly. Suddenly, Wang Fei and his lackeys appeared behind Su Yang, asking him why it was him again and why he kept going to the temple to change professions. Su Yang responded that it was his line, and Wang Fei sneered that he got it that no guild wanted Su Yang, so he had to come every day to try his luck. Wang Fei released cold air and threatened that he didn't have to teach Su Yang a lesson yesterday, so that day, he would see where he would run off to, while Su Yang retorted that Wang Fei was like a fly, so it seemed like he needed to teach him a lesson. While forming his ice magic in between the palms of his hands, Wang Fei boasted that he let Su Yang off yesterday because of the guild's business, and he had already joined a guild and allocated his attribute points and learned skills. But Wang Fei was interrupted when a fist hit his face. It was Su Yang, and his punch was powerful that Wang Fei was bouncing off the walls, and Su Yang quipped that there was a fly on Wang Fei's face. Wang Fei fell to the floor with only 5% HP left, and as his lackeys got surprised, they asked him what was wrong with him and urged him to wake up. Su Yang turned to Wang Fei's lackeys and joked that he killed the fly on Wang Fei's face, but there were still flies on their faces, which terrified them. The three of them quickly ran away while carrying Wang Fei's body, and as one of them insisted that there was no need and Su Yang didn't need to come, the other agreed that they would handle it themselves, which surprised Su Yang. Suddenly, someone clapped, which caught Su Yang's attention. It was the Temple Profession Transition Guide, and as she complimented that Su Yang was really impressive, she asked him if there was anything she could help him with. Su Yang requested to undergo a profession transition, to which the guide agreed and requested that he follow her. As the two of them walked together, the guide glanced over at Su Yang and remarked that he looked just like a freshly transitioned student. But judging by the speed and strength he displayed earlier, he was indeed at the level of a level 20 professional. Seeing Su Yang exude a very powerful aura, the guide speculated that he might be a second-generation offspring of some prominent family, and it was surprising to have never heard of such a young talent before. A few moments later, the guide stopped walking and announced that it was the Transition God statue, and it would automatically detect Su Yang's profession and level and assign him a transition task, which, once completed, he could transition. The statue was huge, and while Su Yang commented that it was an impressive statue, the guide ushered him towards a book and explained that their transition tasks are generally divided into 4 levels, and before Su Yang would start, the temple could provide him with some guidance. So based on his performance, she would recommend him take on a 3-star task. Su Yang inquired why it was not a 4-star task. The guide replied that the 4-star tasks have a higher difficulty, and it might sound a bit rude, but Su Yang's profession was relatively weaker as a warrior. The transition task requires him to complete it alone. And transition tasks are lifelong tasks, so choosing a 4-star difficulty would mean that if he failed, he would face the risk of a lifelong inability to transition. Su Yang extended his hand to touch the book and acknowledged that he understood. The book notified them that transition requirements were detected, and the profession was a warrior with level 20 that meets transition requirements. So it was initiating transition tasks. The system showed Su Yang different tasks that varied from 1 star up to 5 star, and he was surprised when he noticed the 5-star transition task. The location was at Cold Moon Forest, and the task was to kill 100 level 20 ordinary gray wolves, 10 level 20 elite savage wolves, and 1 level 20 boss grade gray wolf, with a reward of unlocking a special transition path. Demon Warrior, additional 100 points of spirit attribute exclusive points, and an epic grade 1st tier Demon Warrior special skill, but it has a note that transition tasks cannot be completed in a team. He cannot use equipment items that have been gifted or traded, and by completing the 5-star task, he would enjoy certain privileges of the temple. Su Yang queried the guide if it wasn't mentioned that there were only 4-star tasks, why were there 5-star ones, and what were the temple privileges, to which the guide explained that they do indeed have 5-star tasks, but the difficulty is extremely high, and in the entire Hua Kingdom, no one has taken one for many years, so she apologized for not informing Su Yang about the existence of the 5-star task, and as for the specific privileges, only the high priest of the temple knows. The guide continued that with the advent of the transition era, the strength of each country's upper limit is determined by the transitions. So rather than letting potential professionals remain stuck at level 20 forever due to a wrong choice, both the country and the temple hope to cultivate more high-level professionals. Su Yang acknowledged that he understood, and in his mind, he reflected that the 5-star task's difficulty was truly outrageous because not only does he have to kill so many monsters, he also has to hunt bosses alone and cannot be led by others, nor could he use equipment obtained through gifts or trades, and without external help, if he fails the task, he would be stuck at the first transition for life. However, Su Yang considered that those 100 points of spirit attribute and the transition to a demon warrior were crucial for him as a world-class professional, plus the temple privilege. The guide asked Su Yang what he thought, and she suggested that although the 4-star task is tempting, the 3-star task is more suitable for his profession and won't have any issues, to which Su Yang thanked her for her advice and acknowledged that he found it very helpful. She smiled and responded that Su Yang was too kind because it was what they should do, but she was cut off. The guide's smile turned sour when she saw the notification that Su Yang had accepted the 5-star transition task. The system notified Su-young that the time limit was 72 hours and the location had been assigned. And as a powerful pillar of light came down on Su-young, the guide questioned him why he accepted the 5-star task. Su-young explained that he checked and felt that the 5-star task was more suitable for him, but the guide expressed her worry when he failed. The guide was horrified, but Su-young assured her that she didn't need to worry about that because he should be back soon to complete the task, and he was also very curious about what the temple privilege is all about. While Su-young calmly walked away, the guide was still trembling as she looked at him. The guide murmured that someone dared to accept a 5-star task, so she should hurry up and report it to the high priest. At the Eastern Spirit City Teleport Center, the system announced and stated that due to energy fluctuations, the opening time of the teleportation gate would be delayed by a few minutes, and it requested that the hunters be patient. Su-young looked disappointed when he heard that, and he remarked that encountering a malfunction was quite unexpected. But he was not in a hurry anyway, so he should first figure out how to navigate through the cold moon jungle. Suddenly, ladies walked into the center. They were Zhu Yan, a member of B-grade guild Phantom Cloud, and Gu Zio Kian, a classmate in Su-young's class. And Zhu Yan commented that small towns are always so troublesome that even teleportation arrays could experience delays, so Gu Zio Kian should stay close to her and not wander off, to which Gu Zio Kian agreed. Suddenly, Gu Zio Kian noticed the man lining up for something, and she was surprised when she recognized Su-young. Zhu Yan immediately teased Gu Zio Kian and asked if she knew Su-young, to which Gu Zio Kian embarrassingly responded that Su-young is her classmate, and they both changed jobs yesterday. While the system announced that it was glad to inform everyone that the teleportation gate was back to normal operation, and requested that the hunters proceed in an orderly manner. Zhu Yan observed that it was strange because Su-young was at the teleportation gate leading to the Cold Moon Jungle, which is filled with monsters over level 20, so she inquired what a newbie was doing there, which astonished Gu Zio Kian. And as she asked if Su-young mistakenly went there, she was alarmed and exclaimed that it was dangerous for him to go there without caution, so she had to warn him quickly. But Zhu Yan informed her that Su-young had already gone in, and when Gu Zio Kian saw that, she was horrified. On the other hand, Su-young was teleported to the Cold Moon Jungle with a recommended level of 20-30, and when Su-young landed on the ground, he acknowledged that it was the Cold Moon Jungle. Seemingly unaware of the wolf that was charging at him, Su-young observed that he didn't see anyone else around and that they had all dispersed to hunt monsters, so he guessed he would also do that. But Su-young trailed off when he noticed the wolf, and he managed to dodge its attack. It was a level 20 normal Azure Wolf, and as Su-young questioned if those were the monsters mentioned in the quest, he noted that he didn't expect them to appear so soon and that if he relied on himself and would not use trading items or equipment to deal with that kind of monster, it was really tricky. However, as the Azure Wolf lunged forward to attack Su-young, he noted that the equipment he was using was different. Su-young confidently summoned the Flame Greatsword. He swung the greatsword and exclaimed that it was all the drops he had painstakingly acquired. Su-young mentioned that originally, at his current level, he couldn't have used that weapon. But thanks to the broken boundless gem dropped by Spirit Hunts, he could wield high-level weapons. He recalled his failed drilling session, and he admitted that he accidentally shattered a bunch of high-level gems during drilling, so he sold some unnecessary loot for a whopping 1 billion. And currently, he only has a little over 60 million left. But Su-young commented that as long as he sold the bow, Call of the Storm with a base price of 500 million, that expenditure wouldn't matter at all, and maybe Zhao Ming would buy it himself later, and he would be a top sucker. Su-young used the disposable scroll, Charged Barrier, which could withstand a total of 50,000 points of damage. And as the Azure Wolves continued to charge at him and got deflected by the barrier, he sighed and remarked that low-level monsters even have low intelligence and don't understand giving up after being rubbed for so long. He raised the Flame Greatsword as he prepared to attack with it. Su-young eliminated the Azure Wolves attacking him as he ran past them and swung the Flame Greatsword in one fluid motion. The system notified Su-young that the task progress of killing level 20 normal Azure Wolves was at 15/100th, and he commented that the Azure Wolves at the door had been cleaned up, but it was too troublesome to search for them one by one. Su-young threw the monster attracting stone, which is dropped from the low-level boss and could attract ordinary and elite monsters within a large range in the wild, and remarked that they should just come over there themselves. 5 minutes later, Su-young was surrounded by normal Azure Wolves, and he noted that they came, so the effect was excellent. He drank an intermediate mental potion that grants 150 spirits within 2 hours and used the disposable skill Flame Baptism, which deals area of effect flame damage to all enemies around oneself. A powerful flame surged out of Su-young, and the system repeatedly notified him that he had killed a normal Azure Wolf and gained 212 experience. Still surrounded by the Azure Wolves, Su-young inquired if there was anything else, and as he mentioned that there must be well over 100 of them at that moment, he questioned if he attracted all the monsters in the entire forest. Su Young pulled more flame baptism scrolls from his inventory and remarked that he would respond with quantity on his end too. Meanwhile, at the other part of the forest, a hunter who was walking questioned what was going on, if there weren't usually plenty of monsters there, and remarked that he had been wandering for 2 kilometers and hadn't seen a single one. There were 3 hunters, and as one of them mentioned that she was dumbfounded because she had finally encountered a monster earlier, but it didn't even look at her and ran straight in the other direction. The other hunter shrugged and inquired who the hell could explain how the monsters there, who were quite aggressive, could still run away after encountering people. The hunter that seemed to be the leader looked pissed as he declared that he got it. That someone must have used a monster attracting stone and have attracted all the monsters over to their side. So he cursed as he demanded who was shameless enough to try and hog all the loot in the wild. He led the way and announced that they should go teach that hunter a lesson because eating alone like that is shameless, as it was not like he was the only one on a mission. To which the other hunter agreed and remarked that they should give that hunter a piece of their minds together because using monster attracting stones in that kind of wilderness area is just disrespecting them. Brothers and sisters. Suddenly, a powerful tower of flames rose to the sky. The 3 hunters were astonished, and as the leader cursed, the other hunter asked if only a level 3 mage could pull off that kind of fluctuation. And the other hunter wondered which big shot was coming to low-level areas to farm materials because they practically cleared out the Cold Moon jungle. The leader nervously stated that he just remembered that there was something going on at his home that day, which the other admitted she did too, and the other hunter suggested that maybe they should come back later to do the mission. On the other hand, the area surrounding Su Yong was burned, and as the system showed him the task progress where he completed killing the number of elite and normal Azure wolves, he commented that the grunt work was done, so only the boss was left. Su Yong walked gracefully and observed that the 5-star class transfer mission was quite simple, even though he cheated a bit. Meanwhile, it was quiet at the habitat of the Cold Moon Cave boss, where the Alpha Wolf King is recommended for teams of 3 or more at level 20. A group was hiding behind a rock, and as Zhang, a level 22 mage, asked if they were ready because they finally reached the boss cave, Lai San, a level 21 defense warrior, assured him that Zhang shouldn't worry because he bought him the basic strength potion so he should be able to hold out longer, and Zhao Wu, a level 21 jungle archer, explained that he just changed jobs and hasn't tried out the new skills yet, so he was not sure if they were strong. Zhang noted that the Alpha Wolf King is sure to drop the Alpha Wolf King's crystal core, and with it, he could forge his silver rank staff, enough for him to use until level 40, and as he called Lai San, he instructed that he should tank in the front while he and Zhao Wu will focus on outputting damage from behind so they will be ready to go when he is. But Zhao Wu suddenly urged that they should wait because someone was coming, and Zhang questioned what was up. They saw Su Yong walking in the forest while laughing, and as Lai San cursed and asked if he was there to steal the loot, Zhao Wu noted that the kid looked like a student, so he probably just got lost, so Lai San suggested they remind Su Yong. Zhang slapped Lai San's head, and as he asked him if he was stupid, he explained that Su Yong was offering himself as bait for them, so when he goes to eat the boss's first wave of attacks, they will swoop in and reap the rewards, and as he inquired if that wasn't great, Lai San called him Big Brother and praised that he was brilliant. Suddenly, they could feel tremors, and as Zhang wondered what was happening, Zhao Wu asked if it was an earthquake. On the other hand, a strong gust of wind blew towards Su Yong. The Alpha Wolf King appeared in front of Su Yong, and due to the deaths of a large number of wolf creatures in the Cold Moon jungle, it entered a state of rage, with all attributes increasing by 30%. Lai San cursed as he asked how the boss suddenly became enraged and if they should still fight because he was scared. Zhang came out of hiding, and as he walked forward, he cursed and commanded that they shouldn't act like cowards or they would have been squatting there for nothing because if they don't take that chance, they might not get another shot at the boss, so when Su Yong gets killed by the boss, Lai San will immediately take over to grab aggro. But the 3 of them were astonished by what they saw after. Su Yong swung the flame greatsword vigorously, and as the flame filled the area, the system notified him that he had killed the boss, Alpha Wolf King, and gained 30,000 experience. The system notified Su Yong that all the 5-star class transfer tasks were completed, and as it requested that he return to the class transfer shrine to complete the transfer, Su Yong mused that it was too easy. Zhang was sitting on the ground, surrounded by item drops, and was still out of it, and while holding the Azure Wolf King crystal core in his hand, which contains magical energy from the beast that could be used to enhance silver-grade weapons. Su Yong remarked that those were all just some small scraps and could be sold to the shop. Su Yong commented that it was easy and pleasant, so it was time to head back. Before he could leave, Zhang approached Su Yong and inquired if he didn't want the Azure Wolf King crystal core. Su Yong suddenly turned towards Zhang with a dark expression on his face, and as he released his flame greatsword, he demanded who just mentioned that they were going to use him as bait. which made Jiang panic, and he denied that it was him because he absolutely never thought of such a thing. Jiang was startled when Su-Yang crushed the Azure Wolf King crystal core in his hand, and as he stated that he should go and get it himself with his own ability if he wanted it, he bid farewell. As Su-Yang walked away and waved them goodbye, Jiang laughed with relief as he confessed that Su-Yang scared him, but luckily, he didn't make a move earlier. Meanwhile, Zhao Wu wondered if he was really dreaming, and Lai San observed that it was just too insane because Su-Yang just one-shotted the boss, which made him question who exactly Su-Yang was. A few moments later, back at the Profession Change Hall, the guide was surprised when she saw Su-Yang, and as she noted that he was back so soon and asked if there was something else he wanted to ask, Su-Yang replied that he had completed the mission and was ready to advance to his class, and when she heard that, she requested that he wait a moment. But she trailed off. When the details began to sink in, the guide was surprised and was filled with disbelief as she queried Su-Yang if he had completed a 5-star class advancement mission, to which Su-Yang calmly confirmed yes. The guide was skeptical and argued that there was no way because Su-Yang just received the mission that morning and it had only been a few hours, which was not possible, but she trailed off when she saw that the mission status was completed and she couldn't believe that Su-Yang had actually completed it already. She was still in disbelief as she stared at Su-Yang, and she asserted that to complete a 5-star class advancement mission within a day was simply unbelievable. So she even suspected that Su-Yang cheated, but the system showed no problems at all, which meant that he completed the mission all by himself and without even getting hurt. Su-Yang awkwardly requested the guide if he could already start the class advancement. The guide cleared her throat, and as she apologized to Su-Yang for being impolite, she requested that she follow him. While they were walking, the guide remarked that, luckily, she had already reported to the high priest because such extraordinary talent must be used by their church. The guide blushed as she glanced over at Su-Yang, and she noted that he was quite handsome, so she wondered if she could get his contact information later. As they arrived at the Transition God statue, the guide requested that Su-Yang step forward because the statue would automatically perform the mission check, to which Su-Yang agreed. Multiple lights suddenly moved towards Su-Yang as the statue checked the class advancement mission, and when the mission check was completed, it announced that the class advancement task was passed. Su-Yang was astonished when the lights went inside him, and he exclaimed that a powerful energy had entered his body. A class advancement aura, a special reward for players who complete the class advancement mission, appeared on Su-Yang's wrist, and depending on the level of the mission, the color and attribute bonus of the aura will vary. White aura could be obtained by completing a 1-star class advancement with an attribute bonus of 2%. Green aura could be obtained by completing a 2-star class advancement with an attribute bonus of 4%. Blue aura could be obtained by completing a 3-star class advancement with an attribute bonus of 6%. Purple aura could be obtained by completing a 4-star class advancement with an attribute bonus of 10%. And as for the 5-star class advancement, only the top-tier orange aura could be obtained with a base attribute bonus of 25%. The system gave a notification that Su-Yang had advanced to become a Magic Warrior, a special warrior class that is proficient in close combat physical skills and various skills with formidable comprehensive strength, and had completed a 5-star class advancement task that activated the orange aura. Su-Yang began leveling up, and as a powerful aura surged out of him, the system notified him that his level cap was raised to level 40, and it detected an experience overflow of 44,600 points. So his level was raised to level 34, and he gained 210 attribute points, so it requested that he allocate them in a timely manner, to which Su-Yang responded and requested that strength and spirit should be increased by 90 each and speed increased by 30 points. Looking at his attribute screen, Su-Yang mused that he instantly rose to level 34, and with the addition of the orange aura and the bonus from the flame greatsword, it was definitely not the stats expected for his current level, which was too awesome. The system notified Su-Yang that he had received the task reward, an epic level skill book for Magic Warrior, Magic Blade, which condenses magic power into weapons, dealing full magic damage, and the damage increases with the increase of strength and spirit attributes. Su-Yang immediately tried the skill out. The room was filled with powerful slashing aura, and Su-Yang exclaimed that it was a great skill because it could be controlled by the mind and could transform at will without being limited by appearance. So it's useful whether in close combat or casting cold arrows, and that the most important thing is that skills could grow, which is equivalent to having a family heirloom weapon that will never be outdated and is cost effective. Su-Yang was pleased, as he acknowledged that it was really deserving of a 5-star class advancement mission because the rewards are incomparable to other missions, so he must continue to complete 5-star class advancement missions in the future. The guide congratulated Su-Yang on completing the 5-star advancement. She remarked that from that day onward, his name would be engraved on the temple monument, and he would also become a VIP guest of the class advancement temple, which made Su-Yang ask what privileges VIPs have when he heard that, and the guide requested that he wait a moment while she confirms it for him. But someone suddenly arrived and stated that there was no need for that. It was a lady, and as she explained that they should let her discuss the VIP matters, she greeted them and introduced herself as Bai Ling, who was currently serving as a senior priest at the East Spirit City Class Advancement Temple. The guide was surprised when she saw Bai Ling, and as she asked her why she personally came over, Bai Ling responded that such an important guest naturally needed to be received by her personally so she could step back in the meantime. While Su Yang recalled that a senior priest is almost equivalent to the person in charge of the Class Advancement Temple, so he didn't think that someone of that status would personally receive him. The guide gracefully agreed with Bai Ling as she bowed. But in her mind, she was crying in regret as she lamented that she hadn't gotten Su Yang's contact information yet. Bai Ling extended her hand and suggested that it was not convenient to talk there, so she requested that Su Yan relax, and she would take him to the VIP room for a detailed discussion. Su Yang agreed and grabbed Bai Ling's hand. He was surprised when a teleportation portal suddenly appeared. In an instant, they were brought to the VIP room, and as Su Yang wondered if it was actually spatial transfer, he noted that a priest of a third-tier city's temple could actually master such an advanced skill, so it was no wonder that the others mentioned that the strength of the Class Advancement Temple is unimaginable. As if Bai Ling could read Su Yang's thoughts, she clarified that she was not that strong, as it was just that she could borrow the power of the temple's statue. But on the contrary, Su Yang was more surprising because, according to current records, there has never been a 5-star class advancer in East Spirit City, and even in Heaven Spirit City, the most recent record of completing a 5-star class advancement mission was 10 years ago. Su Yang observed that Heaven Spirit City is the superior city of East Spirit City, with a development level several steps higher, and he was surprised that even there has only been one completion in the past 10 years, so he realized that it seemed that the value of a 5-star class advancement was much higher than he imagined. Bai Ling explained that according to the rules of the Class Advancement Temple, those who complete a first-class, 5-star advancement could enjoy a monthly allowance of 10 million national currency and X-Union's Black Gold Identity certification, which gives an 80% discount on shopping and transactions. And when Su Yang heard that, he cursed in his mind as he couldn't believe that the treatment of a temple VIP was good because, without mentioning the 10 million allowance each month, just having the Black Gold Identity of the X-Union is enough to make a profit, as it would be 20 million cheaper for every 100 million spent. So if he calculates it like that, the 10 million allowance each month is simply negligible. While Su Yang acknowledged that the Class Advancement Temple was really amazing to give so many privileges at once, Bai Ling informed him that the allowance and the Black Gold Identity certification had been automatically connected to his identity ID by the Transition God statue, so there was no need for him to operate personally, and in addition to that, Su Yang could also choose to join any A-level guild in the city. Su Yang asked if joining a guild is mandatory, and Bai Ling replied that not exactly, but personal abilities are limited after all, and joining a guild not only provides experience buffs and other enhancements but also the protection of the team, which is usually a better choice. He commented that indeed, solo players are very easy to target, especially someone like him who levels up very quickly, and although his normal strength is enough to dominate players of the same level, if he really encounters higher level players, it would still be dangerous, so having a guild as a backing is also good. Su Yang smirked as he imagined his future self, and he declared that his goal was not limited to just East Spirit City, so joining a guild was just the first step, and he wanted to use that as a starting point to develop his own power, and become a king who dominates the region someday. He asked Bai Ling which guilds are available to choose from, and she revealed that currently, there are 2 A-level guilds in East Spirit City, but considering various factors, she suggested that the most suitable for him was the Spirit Hunting Guild. Su Yang was taken aback by what Bai Ling revealed. He asked Bai Ling if there was another guild. Bai Ling mentioned that the other one is the Phantom Cloud Guild, which has always been competing with the Spirit Hunting Guild, and their strength is not bad but relatively low-key. Su Yang immediately decided that he would choose Phantom Cloud, which surprised Bai Ling, and she couldn't help but ask why. But before Su Yang could respond, Bai Ling smiled eerily and acknowledged that she understood, so she would immediately handle the membership procedures for him at the Phantom Cloud Guild. But before that, there was something he needed to know. Bai Ling informed him that Phantom Cloud is a guild completely composed of women, which surprised Su Yang. It was peaceful at the Phantom Cloud Guild. The young lady was lounging with a book, and she remarked that it was boring as there was nothing interesting to do. It was Lin Yaoyu, the level 85 leader of the B-rank Phantom Cloud Guild. A lady, who was having a drink by a table, commented that Lin Yaoyu was not even in her own guild, yet she would come running there every day to freeload and still had the nerve to complain. It was Lin Yaoan, the level 99 leader of the A-rank Phantom Cloud Guild. Lin Yaoyu complained that guild matters are just too troublesome, so she didn't really feel like dealing with them when Zhu Yan suddenly barged in and exclaimed that she can't just skip out on guild duties without notice because she has to at least greet new members when they join. Zhu Yan gestured to Gu Zhao Qian, and she politely greeted them. Gu Zhao Qian greeted Lin Yaoyu. She introduced herself by stating her name and that her profession was an ice elementalist, and when Lin Yaoyu noted that she was not bad and was quite cute indeed, so she was approved. Gu Zhao Qian was surprised that she was called cute. Suddenly, Lin Yaoyu was surprised when she checked her notifications, which surprised Gu Zhao Qian while Lin Yaoyu inquired about what was going on and what happened. Lin Yaoyu informed her that a guy suddenly joined their guild, and Lin Yaoyu got curious, so she ran towards Lin Yaoyu. Lin Yaoyu was scrolling through the members' chat. She explained that the guild was currently in turmoil as everyone was discussing that sudden arrival, and she asked but no one replied. Lin Yaoyu asked if Lin Yaoyu's guild didn't set a restriction to only accept females and if it could be a mistake from the subordinates. But Lin Yaoyu replied no and that the person was assigned by the Transcendence Temple because he completed a 5-star Transcendence mission and was recognized as a VIP, allowing him to freely choose to join in a ranked guild, so she didn't have the right to refuse. Gu Zhao Qian was amazed when she heard that someone actually completed a 5-star Transcendence mission, which was an insane task, while Lin Yaoyu was in awe as she acknowledged that it was impressive, and Zhu Yan was curious as she wondered why the guy didn't choose the Spirit Hunting Guild. Lin Yaoyu responded that no one knows, so they should put the matter of Su Yang aside for the meantime, and she will arrange to meet him. But even if he joins the guild, even if he causes trouble, she could find a way to kick him out, and Gu Zhao Qian was surprised when she heard Su Yang's name. Noticing Gu Zhao Qian's reaction, Lin Yaoyu questioned her if she knew Su Yang because the newcomer indeed also comes from Dongling City, and Gu Zhao Qian confirmed that she does have a friend named Su Yang, but he just transcended yesterday, so he should be at level 1 like her, so Lin Yaoyu noted that it seemed like it was just the same name. Suddenly, someone barged into the room again, called Lin Yaoyu, and announced that she just received confirmed news that the Spirit Hunting Guild got wiped out in the Black Dragon dungeon, which surprised everyone. The one who barged in was Mu Rongzhu, a level 95 member of Phantom Cloud, and she revealed that although she was not sure what those spirit hunters were up to, their wipeout is a fact. When Lin Yaoyu heard that the Spirit Hunting Guild got wiped out too, she concluded that it seemed that they needed to be more cautious with their strategy for the giant forest raid. And Mu Rongzhu added and reported that it seemed like Zhao Ming's weapon exploded because she checked the auction house, and there was already a storm's call listed for auction. And currently, there was only one bidder in the entire East Spirit City, most likely from the Spirit Hunters, and she asked Lin Yaoyu to guess what she did. Immediately catching on to what Mu Rongzhu was trying to say, Lin Yaoyu grinned and teased her if she shouldn't raise the price too much, to which Mu Rongzhu responded that she exactly kept pushing the bid with Zhao Ming, driving the price up to over a dozen billion, causing a heavy loss for the Spirit Hunters, and Lin Yaoyu laughed as she praised that Mu Rongzhu did well. Meanwhile, someone sneezed. It was Zhao Ming, and Lei Shan was pissed while Zhao Ming was crying while he complained about the Black Dragon and Ice Witch and declared that he was their sworn enemy. Lei Shan was exasperated and noted that the seller can't be reached through private messages, so 14 billion was a huge hit to his guild funds, while Qian Yuan stated that the news about Zhao Ming's weapon exploding must have spread, and the malicious bidding was definitely premeditated. Lei Shan kicked Zhao Ming in the back, and as he ordered that he should get up, he questioned him on how long he wanted to be a tortoise, which made Zhao Ming express his pain, and he protested that Lei Shan shouldn't kick him. While Zhao Ming was bending over in pain, Lei Shan and Qian Yuan were walking towards the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion entrance, and Lei Shan mentioned that the equipment had been bought back, so it was time to get back to business. A few moments later, a meeting was held, and as the one sitting at the head of the table challenged if they were saying that their strategy was flawed, he mocked that it was a joke. It was Zhu Tai, a level 110, 5-star bloodthirsty warrior, and the strategy group leader of Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, and he asserted that they have cleared the Black Dragon Fortress secret dungeon at least 5 times, and based on that, they summarized the strategy and meticulously verified every step, so there shouldn't be any issues, so he questioned them if they were sure they followed their strategy step by step. Lei Shan confirmed that they absolutely followed the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion's strategy, but the behavior pattern of the Black Dragon boss was really problematic, and was completely different from the description in the strategy. And of course, he was not questioning Zhu Tai's professionalism, but he swore that every word he reported was true. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible for him to use the sacrifice of his entire guild's main force being wiped out once to blackmail him. Liu Sai, a level 103 5-star Shadow Slayer, suddenly chimed in and declared that they were a bunch of useless people who have been fed by strategies yet they still managed to get wiped out by a 99th level trash boss, and he demanded what their use was and who gave them the face to even want to come up and leech off their exploration team. Lei Shan glared at Liu Sai, and he was obviously angry, but he still respectfully requested that Liu Sai watch his words. Liu Sai taunted Lei Shan and retorted that they should train harder if they're weak and that they shouldn't play if they couldn't handle losing. But someone interjected that it was enough of Liu Sai, and that he should hold his tongue. It was Zhu Tai, and he asserted that Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion has always placed the utmost importance on integrity and will never sell any incorrect information. Therefore, he will arrange for the exploration team to retrace the steps in the Black Dragon Fortress, and if there were indeed errors in the strategy, all the losses incurred by their spirit hunters will be borne by them. But if the strategy is correct, it only meant that Lei Shan made a mistake somewhere and it was not their concern. Zhu Tai inquired if the arrangement was acceptable, and as someone responded that he would trouble Zhu Tai with that in that case, Zhu Tai stated that the next day, the four of them would take Lei Shan to the dungeon to investigate, and asked if it was okay. Zhang Kexin, a level 108 5-star Holy Healer, and Zhuang Zhen, a level 104 5-star Mountain Barrier Master, both agreed, while Liu Sai nonchalantly remarked that he had no objections. Suddenly, a black mist envelops the room, and a dark figure is standing by the door. Lei Shan and Qian Yuan immediately stood up and were ready to fight, and Lei Shan questioned who it was. But Zhu Tai calmly walked towards the figure and explained that everyone shouldn't panic because it was Mr. Chen Lun from the headquarters of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, which made Lei Shan ask if Chen Lun was a big shot from the headquarters. Chen Lun was a level 115 5-star necromancer, and he inquired Zhu Tai if he was right that he should have mentioned that he needed to inform him if he was going to the Black Dragon Fortress. Zhu Tai apologized to Chen Lun while calling him master and explained that it was mainly their exploration team's follow-up service, so they didn't mean to trouble him. But Chen Lun replied that there was no need for explanations and he would go with him the next day, to which Zhu Tai agreed and confirmed that he understood. Chen Lun licked his lips and muttered that each harvest of such delicious souls makes his treasures even stronger, but even if he killed it 1,000 times, it was not enough. So he urged the dear Black Dragon to wait for him to reap it, which made both Zhu Tai and Lei Shan shiver, and Zhu Tai grumbled that he just couldn't stand the old pervert. Lei Shan commented that it was the 5-5-star professionals plus the expert from the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, and with a team of that size, flattening a 4th-rank dungeon is absolutely no problem, so they were definitely safe. But Lei Shan smiled evilly as he scoffed in his mind while he pondered that it was fine if the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion could successfully kill the Black Dragon, but if they got wiped out by it, they deserved it because, whether it was a genuine strategy or a fake one, with such heavy losses on his side, those self-righteous strategy groups should pay some price, so the Black Dragon team and the exploration team should just kill each other. A few moments later, evening came, and the moon was shining brightly in the sky. Su Yong was exhausted as he laid on his bed, and he murmured that Phantom Cloud was truly worthy of being an all-female guild because the chat channel hasn't stopped buzzing and most of it was about him. And luckily, he blocked it quickly or he would be annoyed to death. Suddenly, the system notified him that there was a new bid for the Storm's Call diamond-type weapon he was selling at the auction house, which made Su Yong curious, and he decided that he should see it. When he saw the Elf Noble and Ice Witch bidding against each other, Su Yong wondered what the heck it was and if those two had any grudges because they had been bidding for over a dozen pages, and he was surprised that he cursed when he saw that the final bid was over 14 billion. The system notified Su Yong that it had exceeded the average highest price by 40% based on evaluation and asked him if he confirmed the sale, to which Su Yong replied that of course he confirmed and thanked the unknown Ice Witch for helping her raise the bid. The system confirmed that the transaction was successful, and it detected that he was a distinguished member of the X-Union's Black Gold, so he was exempt from all transaction fees at the auction house, and he would receive a 5% feedback bonus based on the auction price, so his account has been credited with 15.015 billion with a current balance of 15.515 billion, and when Su Yong saw that, he exclaimed that he had directly earned another billion, which was comfortable and was the ultimate enjoyment a distinguished member should have. While closing his eyes, Su Yong whispered that he was going to take a break and was looking forward to another part-time job the next day because the feeling of overpowering weaklings was a bit addictive, and no one would want to laboriously grind monsters like he did before after experiencing that pleasure, and he went to sleep. At 7 a.m., the system notified Su Yong that the boss part-time cooldown was completed, and as Su Yong immediately sat down and anticipated that it was coming, the system notified him that a transcender was challenging the dungeon with 5 members from the exploration team and Lei Shan, and inquired if he would like to establish a connection. Su Yong got up from his bed and recognized that it was actually the renowned exploration team, who were known as the Dungeon Killers for having conquered numerous dungeons and made strategies based on them. He mentioned that there were also many 5-star professionals above level 100 in the guild, and they should have already cleared the dungeon before, so he wondered if the sudden visit was related to the Spirit Hunter's wipeout incident. Su Yong scoffed as he noted that regardless of their intentions, since they have only brought 6 people, they must be extremely confident in their abilities, so he wouldn't hold back, and an aura began to surge around him as he resolved that he would confirm the connection. The system notified Su Yong that the boss connection confirmation was in progress, and as it notified Su Yong that the connection was successful, Su Yong was in the body of Black Flame Wing again, and he declared that they should begin his second part-time challenge. Su Yong explained the elite monsters that had died before had also been resurrected, but there was nothing surprising because, after all, the Black Dragon Fortress was only a diamond-level secret realm, which could be refreshed repeatedly like the game, and only secret realms that reached the star level or above could be non-replicable. The elf asked Su Yong what he was up to again, and Su Yong remarked that from the perspective of the Black Dragon, the elf looked like a beautiful pet. But he also wondered how the elven girl had been abducted and noted that when he wasn't connected, the Black Dragon should have only acted according to the established rules. Su Yong mentioned he would see who was in the exploration team. Seeing Ju Tai and his team, Su Yong commented that sure enough, there were 5 5th-level professionals, and Lei Shan from the Spirit Hunter was there too. So it seemed like they were there to clean up after the previous mess, and the exploration team's after-sales service was impressive. Su Yong observed their combat power was much stronger than last time with Lei Shan, but he speculated they shouldn't cause him much harm as long as they didn't get their hands on the Dragon Slayer's heart, and he suggested that to be safe, they should probe their strengths and weaknesses first as he couldn't be careless against level 5 professionals. He called the soldiers and instructed that they should take the other soldiers around and go outside to deal with the intruders, but Su Yong ordered one of the soldiers to wait and stay behind. A few moments later, as the exploration team fought with the soldiers, Zhuang Zhen stated there hadn't been any anomalies all the way there and the strategy contents matched up. So he asked if it could be that the Spirit Hunting Guild had deceived them after all, to which Liu Sai responded and theorized that the Spirit Hunting Guild probably messed up on their own, deliberately looking for trouble. But Zhang Kexin cautioned they shouldn't be careless, so they should keep up the barrier and take down the boss steadily. Liu Sai inquired what was the situation ahead. The dust flew in front of them, filling the area and obstructing their vision, but they could sense that it was full of killing intent. The exploration team cursed, and they demanded to know why there were many monsters, while one of the soldiers declared they should attack and leave no intruders alive. Lei Shan recalled it was the same last time, but there were even more monsters at that moment, and Ju Tai agreed it was indeed unexpected. But that level of threat still couldn't affect their exploration team. Liu Sai directed that they should form up as he would draw the aggro of elite monsters while the rest of them focused on eliminating the small fries and concentrated on his target, which everyone acknowledged. Liu Sai used his skill, Shadow Rend, while Zhuang Zhen used his skill, Mountain Barrier. Ju Tai used his skill, Violent Strike, and Zhang Kexin used his skill, Holy Light Blessings. Ju Tai remarked they had wasted a few minutes, so they should continue forward. Su Yong praised them as truly worthy of being 5-rank experts, as their strength seemed like immortals descending to experience life, and Chen Lun hadn't even made a move yet, so it wasn't simple, and it looked like he had to take action himself. He flew up into the sky, and as one of the soldiers noted their Lord Otto's was taking action again, he asked himself why he said again. And as another soldier wondered if he had seen Lord Otto's take the initiative before, the soldiers admitted no, but he asked why the scene seemed so familiar. Meanwhile, the elf questioned how it could be that the Black Dragon was acting ahead again, and what was happening to the Black Dragon because she hadn't been like that when she was captured. On the other hand, Lei Shan acknowledged they were truly a top-notch strategy team under the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion, and he had witnessed the strength of the exploration team that day. But he wondered if he was right that the situation wasn't mentioned in the strategy guides, to which Ju Tai confirmed it was indeed not, so they would look into it after that instance. Chen Lun mocked that the Spirit Hunting Guild couldn't handle those small fries and still called themselves the Never Fail Guild, which was laughable, but another batch of fresh dragon corpses was added to his collection. Lei Shan admitted that perhaps their guild's strength might not be noteworthy in Chen Lun's eyes, but there were indeed issues with their strategy, so he asked if Chen Lun shouldn't speak fairly as the leader of the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. Chen Lun warned Lei Shan that he had some nerve daring to question him, so if he said a couple more words, perhaps he would have another specimen for his collection, and Lei Shan became terrified. Ju Tai requested that Chen Lun shouldn't joke like that as he was scaring the clients, and he advised they should all calm down, and Lei Shan confessed there had been a moment earlier that made him think he was really done for, while Ju Tai lamented that the old pervert acted without considering consequences because if Chen Lun really killed Lei Shan, he pondered how they were going to get more contracts in the future. Lei Shan reflected that Chen Lun could gloat for the moment, but they would see if he would still be laughing after meeting the Black Dragon when he noticed something. A huge shadow enveloped Lei Shen, and he inquired if it was the Black Dragon. Lei Shan screamed and confirmed it was the Black Dragon, and when the others saw that, Zhu Tai questioned how it was possible that the boss actually acted ahead of schedule, while Zhuang Zhen wondered if it was a bug and if the Spirit Hunting Guild hadn't deceived them. Zhu Tai instructed everyone to form up. He ordered Zhuang Zhen to maintain the mountain barrier while Liu Sai should be ready to transform at any moment, and healers were to prioritize healing Liu Sai while keeping his health at 30%. As everyone acknowledged, Zhu Tai activated his skill, Frenzied Bloodsong, which was a berserk talent that significantly increased all attributes when health dropped below 30% and reduced damage taken. Su Yong declared he would handle the exploration team while Zhu Tai dealt 15,893 physical damage. Liu Sai inflicted 14,519 physical damage and 13,774 shadow damage. Zhuang Zhen caused 13,343 magic damage, and Zhang Kexin delivered 12,678 magic damage. The exploration team observed that the damage seemed off, and Su Yong remarked, as expected, even 5 transformation professionals couldn't deal much damage with damage reduction talents. Zhu Tai noted that the Black Dragon had damage reduction buffs, so they should keep chipping away, while Liu Sai mentioned that he saw the opening attack coming. Su Yong pondered if they could predict what he would do next. Zhuang Zhen cursed and pointed out that the boss had switched targets to the backline. Su Yong unleashed his skill, Dragon's Charge, but Zhu Tai intercepted his attack and boasted that it was not so fast, commenting that it was a waste because it had been such a good opportunity to eliminate the squishy backline. Liu Sai explained that the Black Dragon's vulnerabilities were all behind it, so it should taste his strike, and he took on the Shadow's form, which significantly increased attack, speed, and critical rate, and all skill gains increased dark attribute damage. He declared the Black Dragon should die and executed his skill, Shadow Stab, dealing 13,291 physical damage and 11,784 shadow damage. Liu Sai claimed his most powerful execution skill, Shadow Stab, could take down even small bosses in Starlight tier instances with millions of HP, so he questioned how it was dealing so little damage to a Diamond tier instance boss and if its damage reduction was that outrageous. Su Yong responded that it was Liu Sai's turn to reveal his vulnerabilities. He sneered that Liu Sai should go to hell, and as he attacked, he dealt huge damage, leaving only 1% of Liu Sai's HP. Su Yong commented that it was really good luck to have a bloody skin left, but he mused on how many times Liu Sai could have such luck. Zhu Tai called out to Liu Sai with concern, while Zhang Kexin observed it was close and that only a thread of health was left. Luckily, he had shielded Liu Sai, so Zhuang Zhen should heal him quickly. Zhuang Zhen responded and assured he was coming. Suddenly, Zhang Kexin gasped when he noticed something. He questioned if the move could be Breath of Annihilation and asked why it was being used at the beginning when it was supposed to be the transition ultimate skill triggered below 70% health. Su Yong unleashed his powerful, fiery breath. He wondered if they were still alive and reflected that the move should be the last resort defense skill of the Barrier Master, so the next Breath of Annihilation should finish them off. As Zhuang Zhen used his ultimate skill, which reduced damage taken by allied forces inside the sanctuary by 90%, and continuously restored health for 10 seconds with a cooldown of 360 seconds, Zhang Kexin asked why the boss wasn't following the usual pattern. Zhuang Zhen speculated that it seemed to have gained some intelligence, understanding tactics and exploiting their vulnerabilities, but Zhu Tai dismissed the idea, stating they should stop joking because it was a stone tier boss, and its behavior patterns should be fixed. He questioned how it could suddenly grow a brain. Chen Lun insulted them, calling them a bunch of useless trash, and asserted that in the end, he had to take action himself. He began chanting and invoked, in the endless abyss of the underworld, the ancient soul to awaken, follow his will, obey his call, and use its majesty and power to bring destruction to the world. Chen Lun summoned the bone dragon Malthus and commanded it to come forth. Su Yong wondered aloud if Chen Lun was actually a necromancer. Su Yong explained necromancers are extremely rare special occupations, and it was rumored high-level necromancers could even summon undead creatures at the level of dungeon bosses, so he wondered if the strength of the bone dragon would be comparable to his. Chen Lun instructed Malthus to go and tear apart its enemies. Malthus went and attacked Su Yong, and Su Yong observed it has such immense power, so the seemingly fragile bone dragon actually possesses such strength. Su Yong slammed his head against Malthus and ordered it to get lost. Malthus roared as it got pushed back. It used his skill, Cloud Corpse Inferno. On the other hand, Su Yong used his skill, Breath of Annihilation, and wondered if Malthus was trying to intimidate him with his ultimate move. A huge explosion occurred, and it filled the entire land. Lei Shan remarked to actually clash head-on with the boss's ultimate move. He had never seen such a scene before, and Zhu Tai added although the pervert Chen Lun is very annoying, his strength is genuine. Back into the fight, Su-young commented Malthus' breath was indeed powerful, but he hadn't exerted his full strength yet, and he intensified the fiery breath that he released. Su-young's fiery breath filled the area. Seeing Malthus' corpse on the ground, Su-young scoffed in his mind, and he wondered if that was all. Suddenly, Malthus grabbed Su-young's foot, and Su-young was surprised. Su-young questioned if Malthus could still resurrect. Chen-lun snickered and explained as many fresh corpses as there are, the bone dragon Malthus would rise and continue to fight for him, which made Su-young think that it was truly the skill of a necromancer. Malthus suddenly hit Su-young and dealt 59,418 physical damage, and Su-young was alarmed. Malthus bombarded Su-young with attacks and dealt 17,491, 19,652, and 80,313 magic damage, and with 81% of his HP left, Su-young observed the damage was much higher than that of a class changer, so if that continues, he might lose. Su-young swung his tail and hit Malthus with it. He was out of breath as he flew up in the sky, and he noted he needed to catch his breath quickly as Malthus was about to catch up. Su-young was surprised that Malthus remained on the ground, and he wondered if it couldn't fly. Chen-lun clicked his tongue and remarked it was troublesome, so Malthus should attack the enemy from a distance. Malthus threw multiple fireballs at Su-young. Su-young dodged all of them, and he laughed in his mind as he wondered how such an attack could hit him. He commented at that height, the summoner himself was really defenseless, and as if he could hear Su-young's thoughts, Chen-lun was alarmed. Chen-lun called Malthus and instructed it to come back immediately and protect him. Su-young remarked Chen-lun had been fooled and Malthus was surprised. He used his skill Dragon's Charge, throw version, and he commanded Malthus to die. Chen-lun screamed, and he was surprised when Malthus was thrown towards him, which made his HP drop to 20%. Su-young wondered why so much HP was left because he observed the squishy mage would have been gone in a second. He noticed something. Jutai used his skill, Sharing the Pain, which shares half the damage taken by teammates, receiving a 50% damage reduction effect. And as he instructed they should quickly heal up and shield and retreat to a safe area, Zhuang Zhen and Zhang Kexin agreed. While Su-young remarked it was Jutai again and that there would have been casualties at the moment if he hadn't always been timely in assisting teammates, Chen Lu asked Jutai if Liu Sai has not returned yet. To which Jutai responded and advised Chen Lu to be patient because he calculated the time and Liu Sai should be there any moment. When Su-young heard Liu Sai's name, he noted he didn't even notice that he had been missing for a while, and he wondered if it could be that he was going to retrieve the Dragon Slayer's heart. Zhang Kexin called Jutai and informed him Liu Sai was back. And as Zhuang Zhen remarked it was great, Lei Shan commented they were winning for sure that time. Su-young remarked it was what they thought, and he questioned if it was too early to be happy. Instead of Liu Sai, it was the soldier from earlier who showed up, and as he called his Lord Otto's, he reported he was back. The soldier informed them he had retrieved the Dragon Slayer's heart and had not failed the mission, and Su-young praised him, noting he did well. The Dragon Slayer's heart shined brightly as the soldier offered it. Jutai questioned how it was possible. Su-young remarked they were despicable schemers, but thanks to his preparations and with the Dragon Slayer's heart in hand, victory would be his. But he was puzzled when he touched the Dragon Slayer's heart. A powerful aura surged through Su-young's body, and as he questioned what it was, the system detected uncontrollable factors. So the Diamond Tier Secret Realm, Black Dragon Fortress level change was imminent, and it began to rise and reach the Starlight Tier. At the Advancement Temple, the people heard a loud roar, and as one of them inquired about what was happening, another wondered if it was an earthquake. One of the priests called Bai Ling and reported there was an unusual surge in spiritual energy, and as they questioned what that could be, Bai Ling mentioned she sensed a powerful aura emerging from some hidden realm, but she had never expected it to affect the real world. Bai Ling expressed her fear that something big was about to happen in their world. Back in the secret realm, the exploration team insisted it was impossible. Seeing that the level had risen to Starlight Tier, Lei Shan asked how that could happen, and Zhuang Zhen remarked that he had never heard of a hidden realm upgrading like that before. Su-young transformed into Otto's, the wing of the Black Flame Chen Gang. He wondered if he had leveled up, and the system notified him that he had reached level 100, so all attributes had increased, and he had unlocked a new Starshine level skill. Su-young announced that all his attributes had significantly increased, and there was a Starshine level skill. He commented that it even had a resurrection prohibition feature, and in that era where one wouldn't die as long as their level wasn't reset, that skill was like cheating. Su-young questioned the system about what was going on, and the system informed him that due to him obtaining the key item Dragon Slayer's heart, advancement had been achieved. He pondered whether the Black Dragon was supposed to be at Starshine level strength from the beginning. but because of the existence of the Dragon Slayer's heart. It had ignored the powerful racial traits of the Black Dragon, leading to the downgrade of the Hidden Realm's intensity to Diamond tier. Currently, losing the Dragon Slayer's heart special mechanism, the difficulty naturally increased. Su-young admitted that although it was still unclear what early growth stage meant, the situation had completely changed at the moment. Suddenly, Su-young noticed Liu Sai running towards them. Liu Sai called Jutai, and as he reported that he had searched the tomb but didn't see the Dragon Slayer's heart, he asked if he had made a mistake. He spotted Su-young and inquired how it had ended up like that. Liu Sai saw the Dragon Slayer's heart and remarked that it was in Su-young's possession. Jutai warned Liu Sai not to act on his own and instructed him to come back quickly, wondering if the idiot hadn't noticed the system notification. But Liu Sai responded that Jutai shouldn't worry because the big fool couldn't possibly keep up with his speed. Su-young's huge claws suddenly appeared in front of Liu Sai while he was charging forward. He slammed Liu Sai on the ground, and as Jutai called for him, the system notified him that his teammate Liu Sai had died. Lei Shan asked Jutai what they should do, while Jutai explained that Starshine tier Hidden Realm bosses usually required a team of 10-25 transformation players to defeat, and with so few people, there was no hope of winning at all, so there was only one option. Jutai quickly advised they couldn't beat the Black Dragon, so they should flee, and while Lei Shan was surprised, Chen Lun questioned Jutai if he was planning to run at that critical moment. Jutai retorted that he didn't care because it was foolish to fight under those circumstances, and Chen Lun clicked his tongue. Su-young remarked that it was a wise decision, but he wondered if they had thought he would let them go. He swiftly flew into the sky at an extreme speed. Meanwhile, Jutai noted that he could see the portal, and Zhuang Zhen urged they should quickly escape. Suddenly, Lei Shan noticed Su-young behind him. Su-young blocked their path, and as Lei Shan questioned if it was there again, Zhuang Zhen observed that the exit was blocked by the Black Dragon, and Jutai instructed they should tack up all defensive buffs and charge with all their might, as survival was all they needed. Su-young used his skill, Breath of Annihilation. Zhuang Zhen commented that the Starshine level damage was terrifying because his strongest defense barrier shattered with just one hit, while Jutai noted that his mana was running low, so if the boss used another skill, they were doomed. Jutai advised everyone to put their valuable items in the Infinite Ring to prevent loss because there was no hope left. But Chen Lun declared that it was impossible, and that he wouldn't give up, as he had killed the Black Dragon 1,000 times before and knew all his abilities like the back of his hand, adding that even if the Black Dragon had advanced to Starshine level, he could still kill him once more. He called the undead souls sleeping in the long river of time and requested they use his power as a mediator to break the boundary between life and death and let their existence reappear in the world. Chen Lun used his skill, Cloudwater Legion, which summoned all dead creatures on the battlefield to fight for him with infinite duration. But it drained the caster's mana and health. The dead creatures charged forward as Chen Lun commanded them to tear the enemy apart completely. Su-young easily wiped them out with his tail, and he mocked that they should die as they were a bunch of trash. Malthus fired its Cloud Corpse Inferno, but Su-young scoffed that the little flame couldn't even scratch his skin. Su-young emerged from Malthus' fire, grabbed Malthus' head, and slammed it into the ground. Chen Lun was speechless when he saw what had happened. He cursed at Su-young and vowed that transmigrators were immortal, so even if he failed that time, he would return to torment him again until he devoured his soul completely. Chen Lun regretted that Starshine tier dungeons couldn't be repeated, as he wanted to torture Su-young a few more times. Su-young remarked that since they had come to that point, there was no way he would let Chen Lun leave easily, so he would try out his new skill. He used his skill, Spirit Tongue, purifying Inferno Prison. The entire area was consumed by a huge orb of swirling flame. Everyone groaned in pain as they were burned by the flame. Chen Lun screamed that it was burning and it hurt, but next time he would make Su-young taste pain 100 times, and he laughed maniacally. But Su-young coldly informed him there wouldn't be a next time, and Chen Lun was shocked. Chen Lun asked what was happening, why the transfer hadn't started when his HP had reached 0, and why his body was decomposing and falling apart. Su-young explained that it was because Chen Lun had no chance of resurrection anymore, so he should disappear. The system notified Su-young that he had killed Jutai, gaining 2,198,763 XP. He killed Zhang Kexin, gaining 1,986,123 XP. He killed Zhuang Zhen, gaining 1,577,633 XP. He killed Liu Sai, gaining 1,662,321 XP. He had completely killed Chen Lun, gaining 2,546,198 XP. In total, he gained 9.91 million XP, leveling up from level 34 to level 40, but due to experience overflow, 40% was lost, and the current remaining experience reserve was 5.99 million. There was a deathly stillness at the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion. and everyone was dejected. Jang Kexin suddenly arrived and informed them he was back. Ju Tai immediately inquired of Jang Kexin if there was any news from Chen Lun. Jang Kexin replied there was none, and in fact, all the information about Chen Lun had disappeared from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion, so the situation either indicated deliberate erasure or Chen Lun was dead. Everyone was astonished when they learned what Jang Kexin had mentioned. Liu Sai inquired about what kind of boss the Black Flame Wings Autos was, that he could ignore the level protection mechanism and forcibly erase Chen Lun. Ju Tai remarked it was no longer a problem they could solve, so they should compensate the Spirit Hunting Guild for their losses first and leave the rest to the headquarters for decision-making. He added that only Chen Lun had been killed, so he wondered if there was some special mechanism or if the boss had intentionally let them go. Back at Su Yong's apartment building, he chugged a can of drink. He mentioned he was tired because the level of the people in the exploration group was really beyond the level of a spirit hunter, so it had taken him so much effort. But Su Yong acknowledged that hard work paid off because they were indeed worthy of an S-class guild, and the drops were incredibly rich. Su Yong emphasized that what attracted him the most was undoubtedly those two things, the Star-Forged Tear Dagger, Shadow's Bloodthirst, and the legendary skill scroll with 5 charges, Storm Thunder Blade Selection. He remarked that his luck was really good because last time he had gotten a Diamond tier weapon, while this time he had even obtained a Starlight tier weapon, and unlike Call of the Storm, he could equip the dagger too, and the skill scroll was heavyweight with the power to kill a 4-stage transformation instantly without usage restriction, which was truly terrifying. Su Yong mentioned his level had also increased to level 40, and it was a bit of a waste to have excess experience. He wondered if the undead mage named Chen Lun was really dead and wouldn't resurrect again, and the system confirmed that Chen Lun had been completely eradicated by Su Yong. The system informed Su Yong that his decision at that time was very correct because the system analysis indicated that Chen Lun had a high probability of killing Su Yong after obtaining the Dragon Slayer's heart, and if he were defeated by other hunters while acting as a boss, he would die immediately. Su Yong reflected on this and cursed, remarking that killing Chen Lun was the right decision, and if he hadn't been smart, he might have already died. Su Yong stated that with that lesson, the exploration team probably wouldn't dare to come and challenge them again soon. He remembered that Starlight tier bosses were called true spirit creatures and had their own consciousness, so he inquired of the system what the situation with the Black Dragon during his tenure would be, and the system explained that the bosses matched and acted by the system would have their consciousness directly eradicated regardless of level. So when Su Yong wasn't connected, the boss would act according to the established rules and behavior patterns. Additionally, if Su Yong killed the part-time boss, he would automatically be matched with other higher level bosses with stronger capabilities. Su Yong remarked it was a good thing because it was the rhythm that required him to slay a dragon, and when it came to slaying a dragon, he had to mention the unexpected piece of equipment, Dragon Slayer's heart, and it felt like everything just fell into place. He assumed that the blood soul of a heroic spirit most likely referred to the dragon slaying hero, and someone who could be given that title was definitely a person with super strong combat power. Definitely much more powerful than a 5th level professional, so there was nothing he should be afraid of, which was why his next goal for the next stage was to kill the Black Dragon and change part-time jobs to unlock the summons. Su Yong declared it was time to accept the second transformation mission, so he should go. Meanwhile, at the advancement temple, Bai Ling stood outside. Someone nearby asked if she was the temple priestess, and another inquired if she was waiting for someone and wondered who had the status to make her wait at the door. Yet another commented that he envied the person, as he wanted a beauty to wait for him too. Bai Ling saw Su Yong and greeted him, referring to the blessing of the statue. She called Su Yong's attention and asked how she could assist the brave sir, which made Su Yong question the way she addressed him and ask how she knew he was coming. Bai Ling explained that the transformation statue had emitted a guiding light earlier, which was the signal that the VIP of the temple was about to arrive, and as for how she addressed Su Yong, it was the temple's requirement, so she requested that he not mind it. Su Yong remarked that he understood but added that it felt so edgy. A few moments later, Su Yong accepted his 5-star second transformation task, which required him to solo clear 2 silver tier instances and complete the kill within 3 minutes of encountering the boss. Su Yong noted that same level instances usually required teaming up, so the task requiring a solo run was practically putting obstacles in plain sight. But for him, it was almost the same as having no condition. Bai Ling acknowledged, as expected, Su Yong had accepted another 5-star mission, so he was worthy of being called a brave man, but Su Yong downplayed it, saying it was nothing, and asked her if she had a map of the silver tier instances near East Spirit City, to which Bai Ling responded affirmatively and requested Su Yong wait a moment. Bai Ling provided the instance map Su Yong had requested and mentioned that in addition to silver tier, it also included information such as the refresh location and times of bronze and gold tier dungeons, and Su Yong thanked her. Su Yong announced he would take his leave, but Bai Ling requested he wait a moment. Bai Ling warned that not long ago, a terrible accident had occurred in a dungeon where the difficulty had suddenly increased, leading to the disappearance of a professional. Furthermore, the low-level wilderness areas had been crowded recently, often resulting in bloody conflicts due to competition for dungeons. So she requested Su Yang be extra careful. Su Yang thanked Bai Ling for the reminder and assured her he would be careful, adding that with so many low-level dungeons around East Spirit City, he should be able to find 2 silver tier ones. As Su Yang arrived at a dungeon, he remarked that someone was already there, so he moved to the next one. However, the hunters were crowding in front of the closed portal, so he inquired if they were having a meeting there, and as he moved to the next one, the portal was also closed. He wondered if a silver tier dungeon was really worth it. A few moments later, Su Yang observed that after running 7 or 8 dungeons in a row, they were all taken by someone else. He asked if he wasn't too unlucky and if it could be because he had been too lucky recently picking up equipment, triggering the law of conservation of luck. Su Yang commented that the entrance to the Cave of Suffering instance should be ahead. He cursed and asked why there were so many people again. Su Yang recognized Gu Zhao Qian and Wang Fei, who were standing by the dungeon entrance. While Su Yang was wondering what Gu Zhao Qian was doing there, Gu Zhao Qian was talking to Wang Fei, informing him that they had arrived at that dungeon first, so she requested he not try to snatch it. Su Yang wondered why it was Wang Fei again, while Wang Fei apologized to Gu Zhao Qian and pointed out that the dungeon didn't have their guild Phantom Cloud written on it, so if she wanted to do the dungeon, they should rely on their strength to compete. When Su Yang realized it was Phantom Cloud, he reflected that it was the sister guild of Phantom Cloud, and as he remarked on the coincidence, he noted that since they were all acquainted, it should be easier to negotiate when it came to fighting later. Su Yang apologized and informed them that he was not planning to let go of that dungeon again. One of the guys declared that Gu Zhao Qian has caught the eye of their leader, so she should be smart and get lost, and the other guy remarked that, of course, Gu Zhao Qian could be willing to stay and play with them. Helan suddenly pointed her sword at one of the guys. She was a 3rd transformation ranger swordsman, and she stated that the guy should watch his mouth or she wouldn't mind cutting off his head. The other guys were surprised when they saw that Helan was a 3rd transformation class, while Wang Fei inquired them what there was to be afraid of when they had a 3rd transformation class too, and he queried Lai Zhen if he was right. Lai Zhen, a 3rd transformation martial artist, scoffed and pronounced that it was not the turn of the women of Rainy Guild to be presumptuous there. Helan questioned Lai Zhen if he was an uncivilized monkey if his brain was all muscles not understanding the basic rules of manners, and Lai Zhen commented that he only knew that those with big fists were the ones with reason, and as he interrogated Helan if she wanted to fight, he conveyed that if they start, his brothers won't hesitate and they won't spare those little girls behind her. Helan considered that they were all low-level newcomers, so if they really started with those hooligans, they were bound to lose, but she wondered who knew if those guys would take advantage if they backed down there. While she wondered if they should strike first, Lai Zhen scoffed. Suddenly, Su Yang arrived and uttered that it was the place where the one with the biggest fist rules. He affirmed that he assumed he might have some say, and the others posed him who he was. Gu Zhao Qian recognized Su Yang, and she reflected that she last saw him at the teleportation center, and it was great that he was safe, but she wondered why he was there again, provoking both sides big shots. Wang Fei demanded how it was Su Yang again, but Su Yang observed that it was his line and probed Wang Fei why he, a little fly, was everywhere. Wang Fei requested Su Yang if he had the guts to provoke him like that and that he should look clearly because Lai Zhen is a 3rd transformation powerhouse, and with just a flick of a finger, he could wipe Su Yang out, and Lai Zhen voiced that Su Yang should be smart and kneel down to beg for mercy because maybe he will spare him a complete corpse. But Su Yang just turned to Gu Zhao Qian and mentioned that it has been a long time since they saw each other, and as Gu Zhao Qian agreed and noted that it has been a long time, Wang Fei articulated that Su Yang dared to ignore him. Helan pressed Gu Zhao Qian if she and Su Yang knew each other, and as Gu Zhao Qian revealed yes and that they were classmates before, Helan asserted that they should have transformed together and interpellated Su Yang how he dared to come there to provoke them. She announced that it was a silver level instance, and as she questioned Su Yang if he was sure that he was not lost, Su Yang disclosed that the transformation task for the 2nd transformation requires clearing a silver level instance. When Helan heard about the 2nd transformation, she wondered how Su Yang was level 40 in just a few days if Su Yang really transformed with Gu Zhao Qian and how that was possible. On the other hand, Wang Fei prodded Su Yang if he supposed he was cool by acting like a big shot every day when he was just a garbage warrior, who would die if he didn't act, and he delivered that if Su Yang was capable, he should open his personal information for everyone to see his level, but he won't dare, so he should stop pretending to be someone he was not because his little tricks are nothing there and he was just there to kneel and worship their boss. Su Yang chuckled as he wondered if Wang Fei was only level 10, and he specified that if he was below level 2, he wouldn't even bother. But the system notified him that the death penalty for players below level 10 would be dropping 10 levels, while below level 2 would be unable to resurrect. He suddenly raised his fingers. Su Yang requested that Wang Fei go back to the city and soak in the spring water. Wang Fei was surprised when his HP immediately dropped to 0%. And the system notified Su Yang that he had defeated the level 10 ice mage, Wang Fei, so he gained 100 experience points. Wang Fei's guys all called his name, and they gathered around him. Meanwhile, Lai Zhen quizzed Su Yang if it was an ambush and insisted that it was dishonorable. He challenged Su Yang if he presumed that he would let him leave alive after he killed Wang Fei. Su Yang responded that it depends on whether Lai Zhen has the ability. He added that if Yilan wanted to join in, she could, because that way, he wouldn't have to go through the process again later. Yilan inquired Su Yang, who gave him the courage to challenge 2/3 transformation professionals at the same time, and she opined that he was too arrogant, so she couldn't let him off lightly even if he was Gu Zio Kaien's friend. Yilan proclaimed that they should put their issues from Green Mountain Pavilion aside for the meantime, as they needed to teach the ignorant kid a lesson, and Lai Zhen imparted that he will deal with Yilan later. Lai Zhen growled that Su Yang should go to hell. He bombarded Su Yang with punches, but as Su Yang managed to dodge all of them, he wondered how the kid could be so fast. Lai Zhen snapped that he didn't believe it, and he used his skill, Thunder Tiger Fist. His attack managed to hit Su Yang at that time, but Su Yang was able to block Lai Zhen's fist with his sword. Su Yang warned that Lai Zhen should take his attack, and he swung his sword. As Yilan attacked Su Yang from behind, he activated his golden tier 1-time scroll crystal barrier, and as he cross-examined if Yilan was ambushing too, he indicated that the morality of that batch of 3rd transformation professionals was lacking. Yilan deduced that her sword strike earlier barely even scratched half of the shield value, so it was definitely an advanced shield scroll. And Su Yang's weapon doesn't look like it could be silver tier, so she wondered if it would be gold or even platinum. She also presumed that the way Su Yang instantly killed Wang Fei earlier was fast that she could barely see it, so she kept her guard up, but no one would have concluded that he could really fight like that, and she wondered who exactly Su Yang was. Suddenly, Lai Zhen emerged from the rubbles. He roared that on that day, Su Yang did not get away, and he wouldn't rest until he had killed him. But Su Yang retorted that he had already clarified that he was in a hurry. Lai Zhen was taken aback when he saw how powerful the attack that Su Yang prepared was. Su Yang dictated that Lai Zhen should disappear, and the system notified him that he had defeated the level 60 martial artist, Lai Zhen, so he gained 3125 experience points. He addressed Yilan if she still wanted to fight. Yilan wondered how they could even fight at that moment. Su Yang signaled that it was good because, after all, they were sister guilds, and he didn't want things to get too ugly. He instructed that Yilan should apologize to her guild leader for him, as he will take down that dungeon first. The system notified Su Yang that he had entered the Cavern of Pain dungeon with a recommended level of 20-40, so the transformation task had begun, and it requested that Su Yang complete it as soon as possible. Inside the Cavern of Pain, Su Yang stated that speaking of which, aside from the Black Dragon Fortress, it was actually his first time entering a dungeon officially, and it was quite refreshing because he remembered that the dungeon was supposed to be the lair of goblins. Su Yang was surprised, and he inquired if there was only one monster near the entrance. It was a level 36 evil goblin archer, and it growled as it pointed an arrow at Su Yang. Su Yang mentioned that as the first dungeon mob in his life, it felt a bit pathetic. Suddenly, an evil goblin jumped and attacked Su Yang from behind. But Su Yang was able to react quickly, and he managed to grab the evil goblin by its throat. He threw the evil goblin at the evil goblin archer. After Su Yang destroyed the rock in front of him, the system notified him that he had defeated the level 35 evil goblin archer and the level 34 evil goblin butcher, so he gained a total of 1086 experience points. Su Yang remarked that there was even a sneak attack by a straggler, so the dungeon is a bit sinister, and if he wasn't fast enough, he might have been ambushed. He pondered that in previous battles, he mostly relied on his attributes to overpower the enemies, but if he encountered stronger opponents, he would have to rely on skills to determine the outcome. Su Yang noted that it was a rare opportunity, so he would use Shu mobs there to practice his demon blade skill. A few moments later, as Su Yang walked deeper into the Cavern of Pain, two evil goblins snickered while they hid at the ceiling. The two of them jumped and attacked Su-young from behind. Su-young used his demon blade transformation shield and blocked the evil goblin's attacks. He transformed the shield into a hammer. Su-young used his demon blade transformation hammer and attacked the evil goblins. Suddenly, evil goblin archers showed up, and they fired their arrows at Su-young. Su-young quickly jumped off the ground and dodged the evil goblin archer's arrows. He used his demon blade transformation crossbow. Su-young fired his crossbow and quickly eliminated the evil goblin archers. He declared that always being passively counterattacked was too frustrating, so they should watch him pull a train. A few moments later, Su-young ran deeper into the Cavern of Pain. He commented that they were almost at the boss room, so they should finish it in one go. Su-young turned around, and he used his demon blade transformation skill again. He observed that the monsters should take his 40-meter great sword. Su-young indicated that the skill was versatile with both long-range and short-range capabilities, and he increasingly looked forward to what new skills the 5 Transcendence mission would bring. Suddenly, the dungeon boss woke up. It was a level 40 Ice Frost Giant Tiger, and as Su-young explained that the final boss in the goblin's lair was actually a tiger, he questioned if the pet became the master and expressed that the design was quite humorous. The Ice Frost Giant Tiger announced that Su-young was a foolish human who dared to enter its territory, and it probed if he was tired of living and if he could keep up with its speed. Su-young pointed out that the dialogue seemed fixed, and it seems that bosses below Starlight level do not have consciousness, so it should let him test out the new technique he just conceived for it. The Ice Frost Giant Tiger asserted that Su-young was dead meat. Su-young used his demon blade transformation skill as the Ice Frost Giant Tiger stomped on him. The system notified Su-young that he had defeated the silver tier dungeon boss, Ice Frost Giant Tiger, so he earned 6,321 experience points, and he had successfully cleared the silver tier dungeon solo 1 out of 2 and completed the kill within 3 minutes after encountering the boss, and Su-young pronounced that it was an instant kill, so there was no need for 3 minutes. Su-young affirmed that it was time to move to the next dungeon. A few moments later, as Su-young came out of the dungeon, he queried Elan why she was hiding so far away and continued that he was not going to eat her. But Elan voiced that Su-young shouldn't mind them and just go his way, to which Su-young agreed and uttered bye. Elan articulated that it only took 5 minutes to finish what was known as the Cavern of Pain in the underworld, and as she wondered what kind of monster Su-young was, Duzeo Kayan shared that they still went to school together not long ago, but now it felt like they were no longer in the same world. A few moments later, the system notified Su-young that he had defeated the silver tier dungeon boss, Bloodboil Orc, so he gained 6,187 experience points, and as Su-young professed that it was done, the system notified him that he had successfully cleared the silver tier dungeon solo twice and completed the kill within 3 minutes after encountering the boss, so the 5-star Transcendence mission was completed. The system notified Su-young that it detected perfect completion of the 5-star Transcendence mission, so the series of hidden Transcendence missions was unlocked. The system notified Su-young that Phase 1 was the Lost Rusty Hay, where a terrifying beast lurking was seemingly guarding something at the marked location on the map, and the system remarked some points. First, the hidden Transcendence missions will only be unlocked upon completion of the 5-star Transcendence and are related to career development. Second, the series of hidden Transcendence missions will open new stages with each subsequent Transcendence, and third, hidden Transcendence missions could be abandoned without affecting normal Transcendence tasks, and it has a time limit of 48 hours. The system pressed Su-young if he would accept the mission, and Su-young stressed that the 5% increase in all attributes was already tempting, not to mention the legendary skill book, and based on the task description, there must be a second phase, and as he prodded if it was the value of a 5-star Transcendence mission, he insisted that he accepted it firmly. Su-young revealed that the target area of the mission was the advanced wilderness area of Tianling City with an average monster level of over 40, and as he inquired if he was right that the so-called terrifying beast shouldn't be over level 50, he maintained that if it was not cheating, he felt like no one could complete it. He imparted that it seemed like it was time to unlock the Starlight grade weapon, but using a diamond grade or higher weapon requires not only complete boundless gems but also a Grandmaster blacksmith to socket them, and there are no such figures in Dongling City. Su-young recalled and relayed that the branch of the Celestial Mechanism Pavilion seemed to be in Tianling City, and that they not only sell dungeon strategies but also various information, so it was time to visit those underlings who failed. He considered that he heard that the Celestial Mechanism Pavilion is one of the members of the X-Alliance, so he wondered how they would react when they saw the X-Alliance Black Gold membership card. In the city of Tianling, Su-young stated that incredibly, so many had flocked to purchase strategies, and it was truly a testament to the leading strategy group, so he had to admit that he was a bit nervous. Su-young considered that after all, having just sold their items, one officially ascends to the ranks of the Nouveau Rich, which was a bit embarrassing. Inside, one of the professionals inquired if it wasn't their turn yet. Another remarked that they have waited so long that the flowers have wilted, and as the receptionist requested everyone to remain calm and wait their turn according to the number they have taken, Su-young noted that it was such a crowd. Su-young questioned if that wasn't Ju-tai and Liu-sai, and he pondered that he didn't think he would run into them so quickly. Liu-sai queried Ju-tai if the loss of his weapon could be reimbursed, and he mentioned that it was a Starshine level weapon after all. Ju-tai declared that having caused Chen Lun's downfall, their headquarters has been lenient not to trouble them, and he questioned Liu-sai what more he wanted. Liu-sai wondered if he had to grind for months again, and he cursed. The stool that Liu-sai kicked flew towards Su-young. Su-young demanded who was the uncultured one throwing things around. Liu-sai pressed Su-young if he had a problem with that, and as Su-young expressed that of course he had a problem, he probed if a high level meant that one could do whatever they wanted. Liu-sai challenged Su-young for being a mere level 40 newbie who dared to talk back to him, and he asserted that he could do whatever he wanted there, and whether Su-young believed it or not, he could send him back to the fountain. And while he interrogated Su-young why the heck he was laughing, Su-yan mused that next time Liu-sai dared to enter the Black Dragon Sanctuary, he would wipe him out. Ju-tai advised that Liu-sai should mind his image a bit and that it was a trivial matter, so Su-young shouldn't hold on to it. Su-young posed what kind of treatment it was and if it was how the esteemed Tianji Pavilion treats its guests, and he lamented that he was disappointed. Ju-tai apologized and pointed out that they were a high-end strategy group and they don't sell strategies for dungeons at Su-young's level. And as Liu-sai quizzed Ju-tai why he was wasting words on the kid, he exclaimed that Ju-tai should watch him kick Su-young out with one foot. Su-young urged that they should open their eyes and see what it was. Liu-sai pried what that trashy card was supposed to scare, which made Su-young wonder if Liu-sai was kidding him and if the Bump King doesn't recognize the goods. The membership card flew towards Jiayu's foot, and he seemed to have recognized it. Ju-tai grilled why the Grand Steward was there while Liu-sai addressed Jiayu as his brother-in-law and commented that he had been looking forward to his arrival. Jiayu was a level 120 Grand Steward of the first city, Yongfeng City. He immediately slapped Liu-sai across the face. Liu-sai prodded Jiayu what he was doing and uttered that he was his brother-in-law. Jiayu turned to Su-young and addressed him as their esteemed VIP. He announced that he was the Grand Steward of Yongfeng City, and he apologized for any trouble his subordinates had caused Su-young, and as Su-young responded that it was no issue, he surmised that Jiayu was such an important figure. Jiayu observed that Su-young was young and he already possessed the Black Gold membership of the X-Alliance, so he inquired if it could be that Su-young had completed the 5-star class transfer mission and obtained the VIP privileges of the class transfer temple, and Su-young affirmed indeed. Jiayu directed that Ju-tai should make sure to treat the distinguished guest properly, and as he inquired if Ju-tai understood, Ju-tai replied yes. He conveyed that he would take his leave and Liu-sai should come with him as he had to talk to him about the next dungeon, to which Liu-sai responded and indicated that Jiayu should let go because he could walk on his own. Liu-sai warned that Su-young shouldn't get smug and that he should just wait while Su-young reflected if the Tianji Pavilion had a new move when he heard about the next dungeon. Addressing him as an esteemed guest, Ju-tai requested Su-young what he could do for him, and Su-young articulated that he would like to know the whereabouts of the master-level blacksmith in Tianling City, and he also inquired if they have unbounded gems there because the treasure pavilion ran out, and he would like to buy a few more. To which Ju-tai responded and relayed that the information was no problem and they do have unbounded gems, but they're quite expensive. Su-young insisted that anything that could be solved with money is no issue for him. Ju-tai acknowledged that he understood, and as he shared that he would have someone retrieve the goods, he refuted himself and corrected that he would personally retrieve the goods, so he requested that Su-young wait a moment, which made Su-young think that it was such a quick change of face. Su-young contemplated that Yongfeng City is the capital of that region, but even its Grand Steward was respectful, so he was even more curious about the background of the temple. A few moments later, Su-young revealed that the master-level blacksmith was actually hiding in Old Wolf Forge, such an inconspicuous place, and it was right to entrust Tianji Pavilion. Suddenly, Su-young overheard a professional questioning another if he said that the exploration team prepared to go to the Black Dragon Sanctuary again. The professional questioned if it was true and if they still dare to go when people have died in there, and the other professional added that he had only heard about it. But everyone was too scared at the moment that there was hardly any response, and the professional voiced that he reckoned as much because if it was him, not even for 100 billion would he go. Su-young realized that, as expected, Chen Lun's death has dealt a huge blow to the morale of the exploration team, so they probably won't dare to come again for a while, but it was better to subdue the Black Dragon sooner rather than later to avoid any complications. A few moments later, Su-young arrived at Old Wolf Forge. Su-young excused himself and clarified that he was looking for Mr. Guyang. and Yu and Mu Rongzhu were inside, and Mu Rongzhu catechized if Su Yang was a guest. Su Yang assumed that they were people from Yaoan, so he greeted them as sisters and implored them if they were there to get their equipment done too. And Yu quickly bombarded Su Yang if he was the new brother who just joined, how old he was that year, if he had a girlfriend, and if he liked older sisters. Mu Rongzhu suddenly grabbed in Yu's face. She ventured if she was right that he was Su Yang, and as she explained that it was a master level forge and he didn't need to come there at his level, so he should just go to the blacksmith shop on Commercial Street. And Yu expressed her pain and questioned what she was doing. Su Yang sighed and uttered that it was the second time that day that he had heard something like that, and sometimes he really didn't feel like explaining. He posed if his weapon was qualified to be there. Mu Rongzhu inquired if that couldn't be a Starshine level weapon, while Yu elaborated that it was a complete, unbounded gem, and each one is worth several hundred million. Su Yang's weapons quickly caught Guiyang's attention. Guiyang averred that it has been a long time since he has seen such a fine weapon. Su Yang informed that he would entrust it to Guiyang. Guiyang promised that Su Yang should be rest assured that he would pour his life's work into strengthening that weapon, and he would not disappoint him. Guiyang raised his hammer to begin working. He poured out his intense energy and began hammering on Su Yang's weapon. Mu Rongzhu inquired if it was the special effect of enhancing a Starshine tier weapon and stated that it was her first time witnessing such a marvel. On the other hand, Yu was amazed, and she remarked that it was splendid. Mu Rongzhu looked at Su Yang, and she pondered that he was unperturbed, so he seemed all too familiar with such spectacles. Yu suddenly queried Mu Rongzhu what the matter was because she had stared at Su Yang intently, and she questioned her if she had taken a fancy to him, to which Mu Rongzhu commented that it was nonsense and she was just lost in reflection. But Yu pressed her if it was real because it was rare to see her so distracted, and Mu Rongzhu declared that it was enough. Meanwhile, Su Yang wondered if he chose the wrong guild. A few hours later, Guiyang noted that it was done, and Su Yang mused that it was truly a master's touch to complete it in one go because the last time he tried, he wasted so many materials. Su Yang posed the question to Guiyang about how much he owes him, and Guiyang mentioned that for that weapon, he exerted much effort, and normally he would charge 1 billion in fees, but he felt particularly invigorated that day, so he would make an exception and do it for free, and when Yu heard that it was free, she observed that it was incredible. But Su Yang affirmed that he wouldn't dream of taking advantage of an elder, and besides, money is easy to come by. But a master like Guiyang was not, so he requested Guiyang to accept the 1 billion in fees because he will be visiting often. Guiyang responded that Su Yang got guts, so he will accept it then, and he will be looking forward to his next visit. Yu pointed out that Su Yang not only passed up a free opportunity, but spent 1 billion while still smiling, so she probed if it was the composure of a tycoon and what she should do because she was somewhat smitten with Su Yang, while raised the question if Su Yang could truly be the young master of an S-tier guild. A few moments later, at the outskirts of Tianling City in the Wild Spirit Mountain Range, Su Yang articulated that it was the mission location, and that it was indeed a map for those above the second transformation. Su Yang reflected that the Shadow's Bloodlust attribute requirements are 300 points in speed and spirit, so he would just stack up with attribute potions, distribute the remaining attribute points, and with his current strength, he could rival a 4th transformation powerhouse. The system notified Su Yang that the meditative elixir permanently increases the spirit attribute by 50 points. The swift elixir permanently increases the speed attribute by 50 points, and the elixir of celestial speed permanently increases the speed attribute by 100 points. Su Yang voiced that they should go. He fell down the hole when 2 monsters showed up on his side. It was a level 45 Wraithbat and a level 44 Resentful Soldier, and the system notified Su Yang that the shadow form consumes mana for a short period of invisibility and gains a 60% increase in speed. Su Yang moved swiftly and defeated the 2 monsters in an instant using his skill, Double Slash. He reasoned that the most basic warrior skill, Double Slash, empowered by a Starshine tier weapon, exhibits such might. Suddenly, Su Yang was surrounded by monsters. He announced that he did not plan to push through the map honestly, so he would use the old method and blast through in one go. A huge explosion occurred in the area. Su Yang pronounced that it was the cave of the terrifying beast, and given the mission's design, he estimated its level wouldn't be below 50, so he wondered how many hits it could take from him. He proceeded to walk deeper in the cave, and he contemplated that there were no lesser monsters along the way, unaware that they just cowered and hid in the darkness. Su Yang revealed that he had arrived. He flinched as he got blinded by the light. Su Yang opened his eyes wide when he saw what was ahead. A huge monster rested in the middle of a dark liquid ahead. It was a level 55 mutated beast that devoured an unknown chunk of flesh, and Su Yang wondered what it was because, apart from the level and name, no information was visible, and it seemed that he needed to buy a high-tier skill book for clairvoyance. Su Yang thought that one must never underestimate a boss with unknown information, so he should prepare for a tough battle, and he used his skill, Shadow Form. He dealt 52,281 damage, and he also triggered his skill, Wraith Mark. As the mutated beast roared, Su-Yong cursed and spoke that, as expected, it couldn't be taken down in one hit. The mutated beast opened its mouth and began firing at Su-Yong. Su-Yong quickly moved away and dodged the mutated beast's attacks. He launches a counterattack at the mutated beast. Su-Yong performed multiple slashes and hit the mutated beast. He concluded that he shouldn't give it a chance to breathe and that he should whittle down its health in one go. The system notified Su-Yong that he had slain the mutated beast that devoured an unknown chunk of flesh, so he gained 4,321 experience points. The system also notified Su-Yong that he had obtained an aged key and an unknown rotting chunk of flesh. The system indicated that the time has left its melted marks on the aged key, and it seems to be the key to unlocking a certain door. The system also reported that the unknown rotting chunk of flesh was once mighty, but its power has dissipated, and it was a symbol of decay with its origin indiscernible. Su-Yong expressed that the key was mentioned in the mission, but he demanded what the rotten flesh was, and he asserted that just from the description, it seemed to hint that its former owner was immensely powerful, that even with its might gone, it was enough to mutate the beast. He conveyed that they should put it aside for the meantime and return to submit the class change mission. He added that he will investigate its use later. Suddenly, the system notified Su-Yong that the inspection was completed and he had passed the class change mission. He also completed a 5-star difficulty class change and obtained the highest level of life sublimation and the exclusive passive skill for magic warriors, dual spirit enhancement. The system also notified Su-Yong that the hidden class change mission confirmation was completed, and the rewards, a 5% increase in all attributes and the special class Magic Warrior 1 legendary skill book, were issued. The system notified Su-Yong that he gained 360 attribute points, and Su-Yong advised that it should distribute evenly between strength and spirit, while thinking that the terrifying base attribute has already completely crushed those of the third transformation professionals, and if he includes the equipment attributes, he is fully capable of facing off against the spirit hunters. He recognized that the thrill of a second transformation defeating a fourth transformation was just exhilarating. Su-Yong opined that his strike could likely be too much for even a platinum tier dungeon boss to withstand the double attribute mixed damage coupled with Wraith Mark, and that it was truly a legendary skill. A few moments later, Bailing congratulated Su-Yong on completing the 5-star second transformation, and his VIP benefits have also been officially updated. So the previous monthly 10 million in the corresponding national currency was adjusted to 50 million per month, and the discount rate for the X-Alliance's Black Gold Identity certification has increased from 20% to 30% off, and as Su-Yong uttered alright, he believed that from his current perspective, those benefits seemed quite ordinary. Bailing inquired Su-Yong what his plans next were, and as Su-Yong informed that he was a bit tired those days, so he planned to rest for 2 days as it is important to balance work and leisure. Bailing agreed, indeed rest is very important. Su-Yong perceived that rest doesn't mean doing nothing at all, as he will take some time to visit Tianji Pavilion to buy some things to prepare for dragon slaying. Jiayu stated that Zhu Tai is responsible for the Secret Realm expedition, and as he inquired if he was right that 30 members of the exploration group should be enough to clear it, Zhu Tai replied yes, that 30 people should be sufficient. However, he remarked that the special mechanism that prevents resurrection was a problem. Jiayu noted that Zhu Tai shouldn't worry because the headquarters has already prepared a countermeasure, and each of them will be given a life jade ring to ensure their survival, and Zhu Tai thanked Jiayu for such a precious item. Jiayu declared that he will leave things to Zhu Tai because if he weren't busy, he would love to personally come and slay a dragon to stretch his muscles. But Luo Linger observed that they should wait and that the black dragon was not for them to handle. Everyone in the room was startled, and Jiayu queried why she was there. Jiayu immediately mentioned that their young mistress, Luo Linger, was there, so they should hurry and greet her. He acknowledged that he didn't know of Luo Linger's visit and failed to greet her properly, so he requested for her to forgive him. But Luo Linger replied that there was no need for formalities as she didn't inform anyone of her visit, and he must also ensure that no one leaks that information. Luo Linger started sitting down even though there was no chair behind her, and her bodyguard immediately noticed her action. Luo Linger stated that from that point onward, no one is allowed to enter the Black Dragon Fortress without her permission, as she will personally tame the Black Dragon, to which Jiayu replied by politely inquiring if it was the Pavilion Master's wish. She wondered if he would dare to defy her if it was not her father's wish, and Jiayu immediately asserted that he wouldn't dare and he would give the order immediately. Luo Linger remarked that it was good, so Jiayu should prepare the information on the Black Dragon for her and also prepare a room, as she needed to rest. To which Jiayu answered yes. Jiayu let out a sigh of relief. He affirmed that he didn't expect Luo Linger to visit, so it was a miscalculation, while Liu Sai wondered if Luo Linger was the daughter of the Pavilion Master, the youngest genius of the Global Beastmaster Association. Jiyu confirmed that it was right. He maintained that the Global Beastmaster Association is a super organization on the same level as the X-Alliance, specializing in collecting various rare and exotic beasts from around the world, whether it was a dungeon boss or a wild elite. They are the target of the hunts, and Luo Linger is extraordinarily talented as she joined the Global Beastmaster Association at a young age, and there are very few people in Longxia who could match her. He opined that at that time, Luo Linger probably came secretly to tame the Black Dragon before other Beastmasters, and if she succeeds, Luo Linger will undoubtedly become the top Beastmaster on the continent, and the prestige of the Tianji Pavilion will also rise to a new level. Jiyu asserted that Zhu Tai and Liu Sai shouldn't get any funny ideas and follow Luo Linger's commands when they enter the dungeon with her, especially when the Black Dragon is low on health. He maintained that they should let Luo Linger tame the Black Dragon and not steal the kill, and as he wondered if they got it, Zhu Tai replied yes and that he will go get the basic guide to dragons for Luo Linger right away, while Liu Sai commented that there was no way they would dare to go against the Pavilion Master's daughter. But as Zhu Tai was about to buy the basic guide to dragons, he was surprised that it was bought yesterday, and the buyer was Su Yang, which made Liu Sai wonder why it was Su Yang again, and if he was deliberately trying to cause trouble. Jiyu speculated if it was a coincidence. He asserted that Su Yang couldn't possibly know about Luo Linger's visit, but he pondered why Su Yang, at his level, would be interested in dragons, and Zhu Tai probed what they should do and if they should request Su Yang to return the book. Jiyu responded no, and that although it was concerning, they shouldn't easily offend a VIP of the temple and there should be other versions of the dragon information, so Zhu Tai should go look for them. On the other hand, Su Yang read the book back in his home. Su Yang observed that the basic guide to dragons costs 5.1 million gold coins, so the Tianji Pavilion really knows how to do business, and he hoped it was worth the price. He reported that there was the red dragon, the white dragon, and he got the black dragon. Su Yang commented that it was strange. He wondered why there was no mention of the black dragon boss's 80% double damage reduction trait, and asserted that with Tianji Pavilion's level of professionalism, they shouldn't have missed that. So he speculated if it could be that the exploration team couldn't see the detailed information of the black flame wings, just like when he encountered the monster that devoured the unknown rotten flesh in the desolate Spirit Mountain range, and everything was just question marks. Reading the exploration records of the secret realms within Longxia that have black dragons, Su Yang saw that the Diamond Tier Dungeon, Dragon Roar Cave, in the northwest region of Snowfall City has a juvenile stage black dragon, and it was cleared. Su Yang also saw that the Radiant Moon Tier Dungeon, Dragon Vein Desolate Mountain, at the central region in Nightfall City, has an early growth stage black dragon, and it was also cleared. He saw that the Stellar Tier Dungeon, Black Dragon Fortress, in the southeast region of Eternal Wind City, has an early growth stage black dragon, and it was uncleared. Su Yang remarked that throughout Longxia, only 3 black dragons have been discovered, and 2 of them have already been cleared, leaving only the black dragon boss that he is also targeting, yet to be defeated. But he noticed it and stated that the information about the defeated black dragon doesn't match up. He wondered if the early growth stage wasn't supposed to correspond to the Stellar Tier, and why it was listed as Radiant Moon Tier. He opined that he should check its detailed information. Su Yang read that the Black Dragon was initially identified as a late growth stage due to the dungeon being of Radiant Moon Tier difficulty. However, after killing the Black Dragon, the dragon heart obtained determined its growth stage to be early growth stage, and it has inadvertently swallowed an unknown rotten flesh, leading to its power increase, so the Tianji Pavilion is willing to purchase such items for a high price. He conveyed that the meat really has that effect, so he has really struck gold that time because with Tianji Pavilion making such a high-profile announcement to purchase at a high price, it meant that its value is enough for Tianji Pavilion to ignore the possibility of people demanding exorbitant prices. Su Yang declared that the most important thing was if he let the Black Dragon swallow the unknown rotten flesh, it would directly increase to Radiant Moon Tier strength. So even if dozens of 5th rank professionals came, they wouldn't be able to do anything, and after reaping those benefits, his level could probably soar straight to the 4th rank. His path to leveling up is unstoppable. He maintained that he shouldn't keep doing it afterward because Tianji Pavilion isn't stupid, and after suffering so many losses, they won't send more help, and at that point, it will be time to kill the Black Dragon and move on to the next boss. But still, after all the benefits, he was a bit reluctant to kill the Black Dragon. The system notified Su Yang that when a boss Su Yang previously tamed is killed by him, it will automatically join him as a 100% loyal subordinate. Su Yang wondered if he heard that right and if he could get a black dragon pet, and the system responded yes, and that it was normal operation, so it would request Su Yang not to get too excited. Su Yang wondered how he could not be excited when it was a dragon. He stated that it was the epitome of majesty, power, and dominance, and even the SSS tier Super Guild Global Beastmaster Association doesn't have many people who could tame a dragon as a pet. So if he summoned a dragon pet during a guild war, the scene would be incredible just thinking about it. But he considered that with his current stats, even with a dragon-slaying weapon, it wouldn't be enough to take down the Black Dragon. He reckoned that it would take forever to chip away at its health, and if someone challenges him midway, he would be done for. Su Yung remarked that upon careful consideration, his current level-up strategy still relies on side boss tasks. He asserted that if no one challenges him within a certain time, his leveling speed will drop significantly. Plus, due to his low level, every time he takes on a side boss, he loses a lot of experience points, and facing the next exploration team, especially if there is an overflow, would be a huge loss for him. So it seems that he needed to quickly level up, and as he pondered if he should grind in that high-level wild area or dungeon, he noticed that his guild sent a group message. After reading the message, Su Yung declared that he remembered that Giant Forest is also a diamond tier dungeon, which is just what he needed, and it was a rare opportunity, so he will join them. Su Yung responded to the group message and confirmed that he received it. Lin Yaoan and Mu Rongzhu were both stunned when they saw Su Yung's message. After they processed what just happened, the two of them expressed their surprise, which reached outside the guild building. And Yu remarked that the handsome little brother finally replied, so he should come and let her, the sister, protect him. But Zhu Yan asserted that Yu should mind her image. Zhu Han commented that Yu always talks about Mu Rongzhu, but she felt like Yu was the one with impure thoughts, to which Yu responded by insisting that they shouldn't slander her because her feelings for the handsome little brother are purely sibling-like, with no impurities whatsoever. Jai Muzi declared that Yu was exposed, and as Yu maintained that she was innocent, Su Yung couldn't help but wonder if they were serious and if it was happening again. Lin Yaoan wondered if he was sure that he wanted to join them in raiding the diamond tier dungeon and remarked that the monsters inside might be too strong. But Su Yung asserted that he is absolutely sure and he will head there first, so they should take their time. The next day, at the job transfer temple, Zhao Ming wondered why he was unhappy. Lei Shan declared that it has been a struggle to reach level 99 again, and he just got the level 5 job change quest, in which the materials are located in the giant forest. Lai Dan stated that the difficulty of the giant forest is on par with the Black Dragon Fortress, and at their current levels, they couldn't handle it. Zhao Ming remarked that he heard that Phantom Cloud Guild is preparing to raid the giant forest, so it looks like they will have to give up that year's trial dungeon ticket to them, and that will widen the gap between their two guilds even further. But Lei Shan asserted that it was not necessarily the case because there was still one way to stop Phantom Cloud Guild from taking the ticket, and Zhao Ming wondered what he meant. Lei Shan declared that since he had no way out, there was nothing left to lose, so they should kill them and make Phantom Cloud Guild experience the same despair as they did. At the giant forest, which has the recommended level of 90+, the countdown to opening has started, and it has 35 minutes left. Su Yung considered that there are quite a few people there and that the giant forest is a high-tier dungeon on par with the Black Dragon Fortress, so the difficulty should be similar. He reckoned that Lin Yaoan probably chose that time to challenge it for that specific reason because the so-called trial dungeon is a special task hosted by the Transfer Temple in Yongfeng City, opened once a year, where only a grade or higher guilds with 5th turn professionals are eligible to enter, with each city having only one admission ticket. He believed that the guilds ranked in the top 3 for performance in the trial dungeon would receive extremely rich resource rewards, including a star tier weapon, 3 diamond tier weapons, and an additional guild buff, so it was a huge attraction for any guilds. And as one of the only 2 A-grade guilds in Tianling City, Phantom Cloud Guild and Spirit Hunting Guild both wanted to outshine each other, hence their eagerness to reach the 5th turn and compete for the trial dungeon entry. Su Yung assumed that originally, Spirit Hunting Guild was stronger, but they suffered a complete wipeout in the Black Dungeon Fortress, resulting in lost levels and equipment, putting them at a disadvantage in the upcoming competition. Thus, it naturally became Phantom Cloud Guild's win. He figured that most of the people there were from B-grade guilds and posed no threat to Phantom Cloud Guild. But Lei Shan showed up and remarked that all the low-level professionals should listen up. He noted that the dungeon is claimed by Spirit Hunting Guild, so if they don't want to die, they should get out immediately, and Su Yung deemed that it seems that Spirit Hunting Guild hasn't given up easily. One of the hunters waiting stated that those A-grade guilds were overbearing, but another hunter mentioned that he should keep his voice down and inquired if he hadn't heard that Spirit Hunting Guild has had bad luck recently, so they are obviously looking for a scapegoat. While Su Yung reflected that with Spirit Hunting Guild's current strength, tackling a diamond tier dungeon should be very difficult as they hardly have any level 90 seconds. Su Yung supposed that judging by their stance, the Spirit Hunting Guild didn't seem prepared to enter the dungeon, but rather was waiting for someone, so he wondered if those guys were planning to block Phantom Cloud Guild and stop them from entering the dungeon. He concluded that just occupying the spot and doing nothing was despicable. A level 72 rogue queried if he was deaf and if he didn't hear what Lei Shan expressed, but Su Yang explained that he was just there exploring the area, and he was not interested in their business, so they should do as they please. But the rogue cursed as he probed if he was disrespecting him and declared that Su Yang should get out of the way. But in one swift motion, Su Yang grabbed the rogue's hand that pushed his shoulder. The rogue screamed in pain as Su Yang bent his finger the other way. Su Yang threw the rogue towards the tree behind him, and the throw was powerful that the tree got taken down, but the rogue was still flying away. The rogue crashed into more trees and the trees he hit were falling down. Finally, he crashed into a tree that just got dented, and he fell unconscious on the ground. Lei Shan interrogated who he was and why he hurt the rogue, to which Su Yang responded and asserted that it was nothing much and that it just seemed that the rogue wanted to attack him, so he defended himself. Zhao Ming examined what kind of attitude it was. He declared that Su Yang nearly killed the rogue, leaving him with just a sliver of health, yet he called that self-defense and he was still acting arrogant. But Lei Shan observed that it was enough. Lei Shan stated that since it was the rogue who provoked Su Yang, he was in the wrong, and since Su Yang had taught the rogue a lesson, he suggested that Su Yang just leave it at that, and Su Yang mentioned that he had no objections. Zhao Ming wondered if they were really letting Su Yang off the hook, and Lei Shan asserted that being able to one-shot a third-turn rogue meant that Su Yang was at least a fourth-turn professional, and they were there to confront Phantom Cloud Guild, so there was no need to create extra trouble. To which Zhao Ming agreed, but he pondered if it could be that Su Yang was hired by Phantom Cloud Guild because otherwise, there was no reason why he would be there alone, to which Lei Shan remarked that it was probably not the case since those women generally don't hang around with men. Meanwhile, Su Yang wondered if the Phantom Cloud Guild was already there. Lin Yaoan inquired what he meant by what he was doing. Lei Shan noted that it was nothing much and they just got there first and occupied the giant forest, so Lin Yaoan should go to another dungeon. But Lin Yaoan replied that Lei Shan shouldn't be ridiculous because his spirit hunting guild just experienced a wipeout, so there was no way they had the strength to tackle a diamond tier dungeon. Lin Yaoan remarked that she finally got it, and as she contemplated if she was right that he came there to pick a fight, she stated that they got wiped out and were there to block them out of spite. She scrutinized how that benefits them, if they could still save some face, or if they wanted to start a guild war right there. Lei Shan laughed and added that the benefit is dragging Phantom Cloud Guild with them, preventing them from entering the trial dungeon, so he would make it clear that nobody is entering the giant forest that day. He commented that Lin Yaoan hadn't even said anything about fighting yet, but Mu Rongzhu was already making a move. Mu Rongzhu declared that if Lei Shan wanted to fight, they should fight, and she pressed why they were wasting words. Lai Dan affirmed fine and that on that day, they will settle it both in strength and to the death, so they should have a good fight. But Su Yang chimed in and challenged if he said that no one will enter the giant forest that day. He inquired who he surmised he was. Mu Rongzhu was surprised when she saw Su Yang while Yu admired Su Yang and commented that he was cool as he dared to provoke Lei Shan. Zhu Han stated that the main character they have been discussing in the guild chat finally appeared, and while Zhu Yan remarked that Gu Zio Kaian should have been there to see what was happening, Jai Muzi noted that the first male member of the Phantom Cloud Guild had appeared, so that historic moment must be well documented. Lin Yaoan remarked that she finally got to see Su Yang in person, and Su Yang apologized that he hadn't reported to the guild, but he added that he conjectured that it might be easier for them all that way, to which Lin Yaoan responded maybe. Lin Yaoan mused that 5-star profession, VIP of the temple, owner of a star glory tier weapon, suspected heir to an S-tier guild. Su Yang had so many secrets, and even though he was standing in front of her, she was wondering how she should ask or if she should even ask. On the other hand, Lai Dan cursed and declared that he had pursued Yu several times, but she never looked at him, yet she was flirting with Su Yang, so he was going to kill him while Zhao Ming called Lei Shan and noted that Su Yang was really with Phantom Cloud Guild, and it sounded like he was not just an outsider but an official member. Lei Shan queried if he was playing with him earlier. Su Yang queried what he would do if he was and if he wanted to hit him. Without any warning, Zhao Ming fired his arrow at Su Yang. Su Yang managed to catch the arrow with his bare hand, and he immediately recognized that it was Zhao Ming. He stated that it would be an eye for an eye, so he will return the favor. Su Yang immediately threw Zhao Ming's arrows back at him. Zhao Ming was unable to react, and he was hit by his own arrows. Lei Shan declared that Su Yang was looking for trouble. Su Yang observed that he could finally see that the Spirit Hunting Guild was there for trouble by blocking that perfectly fine dungeon so no one could clear it, and he queried if they thought everyone had time to mess around like them, if they didn't know if time is money, and if they could bear the responsibility if he missed the chance to slay some fat sheep. Lei Shan queried what fat sheep he was talking about, what he meant, and why he was still spouting nonsense when he was about to die. Su Yang stated that he had no choice but to teach Lei Shan a lesson. Lei Shan immediately recognized that Su Yang summoned skill scrolls. He immediately declared that they should deploy a defense barrier and activate all team damage reduction skills, and the Spirit Hunting Guild responded yes. Lei Shan noted that since Su Yang dared to come alone, he must be tough, but no matter how strong he is, he can't break through their strongest defense barrier. Su Yang queried if it was real and declared that Lei Shan should take the hit then. A powerful swirl of winds appeared in the sky, and Yu stated that it was annoying, and as Mu Rongzhu inquired what kind of dress she had, she remarked that the terrifying elemental wave felt like a prehistoric catastrophe. On the other hand, Lei Shan declared that it was impossible and queried if it could be a legendary skill. Su Yang stated that they should disappear. Su Yang used his Storm Thunder Thousand Blades skill, and Lei Shan looked horrified as he watched it coming at him. The surroundings turned dark as dark clouds blocked the sky, and a powerful strike hit the ground. Su Yang observed that it was alright and that the obstacles were gone. He inquired if they should start the dungeon raid. Lin Yaoan queried how it was possible that the Spirit Hunting Guild was wiped out in an instant, while Mu Rongzhu stated that even if it was a legendary skill scroll, it shouldn't be able to wipe out a ranked guild instantly. Jai Muzi noted that she drew the scene from earlier and they should look because Su Yang used other skills too, besides the skill scroll. And Yu remarked that as expected of Jai Muzi, the drawing was really good, while Mu Rongzhu observed that it looked like a blade formed from condensed magic. Lin Yaoan declared that she could see that Su Yang was using a legendary skill to destroy defensive magic, creating chaos with numerous epic skills, and finally using the magic blade to finish off the weakened enemies, which is such a clear strategy. Mu Rongzhu mentioned that normally, level 58 skills wouldn't harm someone like Lei Shan, but they should consider Su Yang's luxurious equipment. Everyone believed that Su Yang was definitely the young master of a super guild. Su Yang inquired if they could already enter the dungeon, to which Lin Yaoan affirmed yes and that they should set off immediately. A few moments later, the Phantom Cloud Guild entered the giant forest. Su Yang remarked that it really has the feel of the giant's territory with such tall trees, while Lin Yaoan stated that the terrain there is complex, so everyone should stay close and be alert to their surroundings, and everyone responded yes. And you wondered if he thinks they could clear the dungeon smoothly, and as Su Yang asserted that there shouldn't be a problem. And you queried if there will be an unexpected situation like in Black Dragon Fortress and added that if that happens, Su Yang has to protect his big sister, to which Su Yang replied and maintained that he will do his best. An animal emerged from the bushes and everyone was alarmed. Zhu Yan commented that it scared her, but it was just a small rabbit. But she screamed when a level 89 two-headed raptor appeared after the rabbit. Lin Yaoan avowed that everyone shouldn't panic. She proclaimed that they should stay calm and fight because it was just a small monster. She was a level 99 holy knight, and she quickly went to attack the two-headed raptor. But a level 95 giant rock bear appeared, and as Jai Muzi indicated that it was coming their way too, and Yu called Su Yang and urged that he should save her. Su Yang probed why they don't have a secondary tank, and as Yu expressed that Su Yang should know that high-level female tanks are rare, Su Yang conveyed that he will tank that side while the healers keep an eye on his HP. Lin Yaoan confirmed that she got it and that all support should focus on Su Yang, to which they acknowledged that they understood. Su Yang deemed that those were all 4th turn support skills, so his strength has doubled instantly. He quickly moved towards the giant rock bear. Su Yang dug his sword into the giant rock bear's head and dealt critical hit damage. Lin Yaoan reported that they finished up on their side too, and Su Yang did well, so with him joining them, their chances of success in that dungeon have increased significantly. But Su Yang admitted that Lin Yaoan was too kind because it was his first time teaming up for a dungeon, so he will need her guidance for team coordination, to which Lin Yaoan assured that it was no problem. But after hearing what Su Yang disclosed about being on a team for the first time, she pondered if Su Yang had been soloing dungeons all along, and she reflected that she couldn't fathom his identity more and more. As they proceeded, Lin Yaoan continued to attack monsters. Mu Rongzhu also joined in the fight with her ice spells. Su Yang also continued to fight and eliminated 2 giant rock bears at the same time. A few moments later, Lin Yaoan affirmed that they had finally reached the boss. Su Yang inquired if she was nervous and revealed that, and Yu told him that Lin Yaoan bought the strategy from Tianji Pavilion, so they should be fine if they follow it. But Lin Yaoan noted that Spirit Hunting Guild had a mishap in the Black Dragon dungeon previously, so she was still a bit worried. Su Yang declared that it was fine and that his man's intuition tells him that the dungeon will definitely not end in failure, which made Lin Yaoan think that Su Yang has such inexplicable confidence, and she wondered why it seemed so convincing coming from Su Yang. Lin Yaoan agreed alright and that she would trust Su Yang's intuition, so they should go. Everyone replied okay, and they all started to attack the level 98 deteriorated hybrid giant. On the other hand, Ju Tai was reporting to Jia Yu and reported that there was a conflict between Spirit Hunting Guild and Phantom Cloud Guild outside the giant forest, according to recent news, which intrigued Jia Yu, and as he inquired what the result was, Ju Tai asserted that Spirit Hunting Guild was wiped out. Jiayu remarked that as expected, the more desperate people become, the more irrational their actions, and he used to think highly of them. But it seems that that year's qualification for the trial secret realm in Tianling City belongs to Phantom Cloud Guild. Zhu Tai added that there was something else, and it was about the Black Dragon secret realm, which quickly caught Jiayu's attention. Meanwhile, the level 98 deteriorated hybrid giant screamed in pain as Lin Yaowen dealt the final blow on it. Everyone celebrated and exclaimed that they did it when the giant crashed on the ground. The system notified the Phantom Cloud Guild that they have completed the Secret Realm challenge and the rewards have been distributed, so it would request the guild leader to have them allocated. Lin Yaowen observed that earlier, Su Yang actually had the chance to land the final blow, but he let her have it, so she thanked him and remarked that she owed him one. But Su Yang asserted that Lin Yaowen shouldn't mention it because she probably needed the extra benefits from the final blow more than he did. One of the girls remarked that Su Yang was amazing and they definitely wouldn't have been able to clear the dungeon so easily without him. Another girl commented that when she took a closer look, Su Yang was actually kind of cute, so she inquired if he wanted to add her as a friend and added that they could keep in touch. On the other hand, Mu Rongzhu declared that the girls were too much and they were embarrassing fools, but Zhu Yan stated that Mu Rongzhu should forget about them and come check out the loot because they actually got 2 platinum tier items and a diamond tier 1. Lin Yaowen inquired if there was any equipment he wanted and offered that she could help him with the distribution, but Su Yang replied that it was okay and thanked Lin Yaowen while reflecting that his warehouse was already full of diamond tier equipment. Mu Rongzhu mentioned that they have also obtained the materials needed for the 5th transfer quest, and with that, they could get the trial secret realm entry ticket. And Yu called Lin Yaowen and proposed that they should all go have a good meal to celebrate later, to which Lin Yaowen laughed and responded that of course they should celebrate, and she queried if he was coming with them. But before Su Yang could respond, he was cut off when the system notified him that a challenger had been detected and inquired if he would like to connect. Su Yang wondered how someone came to challenge so soon and if the exploration group acted ahead of schedule. He apologized to Lin Yaowen and explained that something urgent just came up, so he needed to leave first and he couldn't join the celebration, so he would see them. Meanwhile, a lot of dragons have already been eliminated at the Black Dragon Fortress. Su Yang considered that she should see who was attempting the dungeon. He was surprised when he saw that it was only one person, and he seemed to have recognized his appearance. Alcaray Lawrence was a level 140 court magician elf, and as he remarked that the dragons were a bunch of filthy creatures and were truly annoying, Su Yang concluded that Alcaray's power was extraordinary, so they should use the usual method and let those elite monsters test him first. The dragon priest suddenly declared that Alcaray was an elf coward and he was going to smash his skull. He should offer his blood as a sacrifice to Lord Otto's, while a dragon blood warrior stated that they should kill all intruders. Alcaray wondered if Otto's was the name of the foolish black dragon and mocked that it was just a juvenile black dragon, so a few forbidden spells could kill such trash. And as for them, they were not even worthy of being called trash. The blood from the elite monsters spurted and hit him from behind. He complained that the blood of lowly creatures is disgusting and if it weren't for the princess, he wouldn't be willing to come to such a filthy place. He summoned a mountain giant to come forth and be his spear and his shield, kill everything in its path, and not let the filth splash on him. Su Yang cursed as he realized that Alcaray killed elite monsters above level 95 so effortlessly, so he is even stronger than those few in the exploration group. And he speculated if Alcaray could be a 6th tier class, they would have no chance if they fought a 6th tier with such power, so it was bad. But he recalled that Alcaray just mentioned for the princess, and he speculated if he could be talking about Lilith then maybe he could get some information out of her. He urged that Lilith should stop sleeping, wondered how she could still be asleep, and demanded that she should wake up. Lilith inquired who was calling her. He pressed her about whether she is the princess of the Elven Kingdom. She wondered if he could actually talk, and as he reminded her that she had never questioned before, he pointed out that she was focusing on the wrong thing. She insisted that of course she was because he was a dumb dragon who usually just looked clueless, only knowing how to sleep and walk around, but suddenly he became smart. She wondered how anyone is supposed to accept that and considered that, come to think of it, all those days, her body has been completely seen by him, and she worried if he did anything indecent while she slept. He was a perverted dragon, so he shouldn't come near her, and as she cried for help, he wondered why the conversation was turning in a weird direction. He doesn't have enough patience, so she should answer his question, or he will eat her while intending that he will just scare her a bit. She immediately revealed that her name is Lilith Savaray, the 6th daughter of the Honorable Queen Savaraya. He remembers seeing in the basic Dragon Guide that the Elven Kingdom, Dragon Kingdom, and Giant Kingdom all belong to the SSS Ultra Ultimate Subspace Nations, incredibly powerful, and among them, only the Elven Kingdom is friendly towards humans, and the supreme ruler of the Elven Kingdom is Queen Savaraya. He didn't expect Lilith to have such a significant background. He indicated that she should look because her people have come to rescue her, and as she doubted if it was real, she expressed relief. But she questioned why it was Alcaray, which intrigued Su Yang, and he observed that she does know him but she doesn't seem too happy about it. she declared. Of course not, because Alcaray and his family are a bunch of scum and trash, and she will never forget what they did, so she would rather stay locked up there for the rest of her life than be rescued by him. He wondered what Alcaray did to her, and she explained that Alcaray is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and at first, she was almost deceived by his appearance. He tried to drug and assault her. Fortunately, she realized in time and escaped from his clutches. He wondered if she wasn't a princess and if Alcaray dared to do such a thing to her, and she clarified that the Lawrence family is the most powerful force in the Elven Kingdom, so even her mother can't easily punish them, let alone the least favorite her. He sensed that there was more to the story, but for the time being, he should use their conflict to his advantage, so he warned that he was planning to hand her over to Alcaray. She protested, and he can't because she would rather die than fall into Alcaray's hands. He emphasized that she shouldn't get him wrong because he is not asking for her opinion. Alcaray is a 6th-tier powerhouse, and she should know better than he does how strong he is, so if he doesn't hand her over, his life might be in danger unless she begs him and tells him Alcaray's weakness. He will agree to help her. She immediately pleaded and begged him and vowed that she will tell him Alcaray's weakness just so he doesn't let her fall into his hands. He reflected that although he wanted to knock down her arrogance, he might have overdone it a bit, so he cleared his throat and relented. Alright then, he will reluctantly agree, so she should reveal Alcaray's weakness truthfully. She explained that the Lawrence family is naturally gifted in spiritual power, and has an extraordinary talent for magic. However, they have a fatal flaw. Their bodies are very fragile, so even if their strength reaches 5 or 6 tiers, their physical strength is still at the level of 1 tier. He summarized that it was a pure glass cannon, which is an extremely unbalanced build, but she noted that because of that weakness, the Lawrence family is always covered by a powerful magic barrier, and with his current strength, she is afraid that he can't break through it. Nothing has changed after all, and as she worried if she was really going to be taken away by the scum and become a slave, he considered that she should have some faith in him. But what she revealed was true, and as it stands, the only way forward is to use the rotten meat chunk to advance to the Radiant Moon stage. However, doing so would greatly increase the dungeon's difficulty, so the Explorers Guild would undoubtedly become more cautious, directly impacting their next Slaughter the Fat Sheep plan. And he speculated if there was no way to have it both ways. His body changed after advancing to the Starlight stage, but his armor is just for show, and he wished it could provide some real equipment attribute boosts. He recalled that the heart of the Dragon Slayer turned into equipment in the hands of the Black Dragon, so he considered if his human form's equipment could also do the same. Lilith suggested to him that he let her go because no matter what, she didn't want to fall into Alcaray's hands. But she wondered where the dragon went. He was using his skill, Shadow Form, and it actually worked. Meanwhile, she worried if he could have escaped and insisted that there was no way. He equipped Shadow's Bloodlust on the Black Dragon and tried to activate the weapon's special ability, and it immediately entered Shadow Form. But that was not all. The attributes of the equipment, his own attributes, and even his talents could all be shared with the Black Dragon, especially the percentage effect of dual spirit amplification applied to the Black Dragon. His strength and spirit instantly increased by several hundred. And the gap in basic attributes could be compensated for, so it was time to properly entertain their guest. On the other hand, Alcaray addressed Su Yang as the Black Dragon Autos and commanded that he should hand over the princess immediately, and he might consider leaving him with an intact corpse. He urged him to speak. He mocked if he couldn't even say a word and if he was scared, and taunted that he was a cowardly, soft dragon who was making him waste so much effort. He considered if he should just use a forbidden spell to destroy that shabby palace along with the Black Dragon, and he continued that although the princess would most likely die, memory manipulation spells work extremely well on corpses, and after that, he could use a resurrection spell to bring her back, pure and unblemished, and the image of being with such a princess excites him to no end. That was it, so the Black Dragon Autos should die, but as he was about to use his forbidden spell, he was interrupted. Su Yang remarked that he was scum and is truly perverted, completely shattering his stereotype of elves. His HP immediately dropped to 6% as soon as he took Su Yang's attack. He crashed on the ground. He questioned when the Black Dragon appeared why he couldn't detect its presence at all and how it could destroy his magic barrier with a single blow. He insisted it is impossible, absolutely impossible. Su Yang apologized to him and explained that common sense doesn't apply when dealing with someone as exceptional as him. Su Yang used his skill, Word Spirit, Cleansing Inferno. Alcaray screamed in pain as he got consumed by the fire. The system notified Su Yang that he had slain Alcaray, so he gained 12.1 million experience points, and he remarked that there was no need to keep the scum around and they should see what treasures Alcaray dropped. Amazed, he wondered if it was legendary items and banishment spells as the system gave him the first order banishment spell, Thunder of the Infinite World, the legendary Soul Summoning Stone, Lunar Wolf Spirit, and the legendary Scroll of Nature's Guardian. Banishment spells are the highest level of magic, and it is rumored that their power is enough to destroy a city. However, most mages don't have enough mana to cast such spells, so they are usually stored in the form of scrolls. The Alcaray scum may be gone, but he sure gave him a big gift. Now that he considers it, the staff, robe, and accessories Alcaray had on him were all at least Starlight tier, yet not a single one drop. So when he reflects on it, killing him might have seemed like a small profit, but in reality, he is actually losing out. He wondered where he could find such a fat sheep again. On the other hand, Lilith was still in her cage. She assumed that the evil dragon suddenly disappeared and pondered if it went to challenge Alcaray alone and what would happen if he lost. But she questioned if she was worried about him and dismissed it as impossible. She just didn't want to be tainted by scum like Alcaray. She was surprised when he suddenly came back. She inquired where he went and where Alcaray is, and he explained that he used invisibility to sneak attack and Alcaray has been burned to ashes, so she could already relax. It was unbelievable that he actually killed Alcaray, but she remembered that only rainbow dragons could use invisibility magic. She contemplated how a black dragon did that and felt that the mysteries were getting deeper. Why was he staring at her? And he mentioned that he recalled that the royal family of elves should have strong magic, but she has no strength at all. She explained that it was because she bears the curse imposed by the giant king in ancient times on the elves, which not only seals magical talents but also greatly shortens lifespan. And in each generation of the elven royal family, one person must become the sacrificial lamb of the curse. It was her turn that time, so she is not valued at all in the royal family. He reflected that it was surprising to realize that she is also quite pitiful because if he hadn't obtained the cheat, he would probably have been useless all his life, and the black dragon would eventually be killed by someone, and she would inevitably become the plaything of Alcaray or other professionals. So looking at things that way, it is not an exaggeration to say that he changed her fate. She demanded what he was going to do and insisted that she helped him defeat Alcaray so he couldn't go back on his word. She screamed as she braced herself for his attack, but she was surprised when she realized that he had just freed her from the cage. He explained that she is free at the moment, albeit only within that secret realm, and she demanded why. A good dragon should be good to the end, and she could live there in peace, but it won't be long before she could gain true freedom. He summoned all his servants and instructed that they should obey and no one is allowed to harm Lilith, and all the servants confirmed that they will obey Otto's orders. She wondered why he was suddenly so kind to her, what he wanted, and what he meant by true freedom. But the connection was already lost, and she pondered why he fell asleep all of a sudden. Back in his home, Soo-young remarked that it was really fruitful at that time, so he will be more confident facing the expedition team next time. Suddenly, the system notified him that he had a new message, and he wondered if it was from Lin Yaoan. He was suddenly flooded with messages, and as the system notified him that he had 99 plus unread messages, he wondered if he had been infected with a virus. The members of the Phantom Cloud Guild were the ones messaging Soo-young, inquiring where he was and if he was free, and he concluded that those women were really too enthusiastic. But he should reply to Lin Yaoan so she could take care of the others. He apologized to her for leaving in a hurry that day and for causing her trouble. Lin Yaoan replied that it was okay because she knew that he was busy too, but they should get together next time they have a chance, and she thanked him for his help that day. She sent a picture of their celebration. He remarked that it was quite lively and it is what a guild should be like. Lin Yaoan is nice and able to get along with others, which is much better than Ling Shu and the expedition team, those utilitarianists. The next day, he and Gu Ziokain met at the Advancement Temple. Gu Ziokain called him and exclaimed that it was a coincidence. She wondered if he was there to change jobs too, and as he confirmed, he inquired if she was there for her first job change. She confirmed, and with the help of the seniors, she finally reached level 20. She mentioned that she heard that he went to the Diamond Tier Secret Realm with Lin Yaoan and the others the other day and wondered if it was true. He confirmed and he reached level 60 the other day and came to pick up his third job change mission that day. She congratulated him and exclaimed that he is really amazing. But she considered that they were no longer people of the same world, and if that continues, she will only be left far behind by him. But he reassured her that she is not bad either because, as a hidden class, her development potential is huge, so maybe she will surpass him one day. She cheered up and asked if it was real. He confirmed that of course he was not lying to her, so she should keep it up because he would be looking forward to the day they fight side by side. She agreed that she will do her best while realizing that even though he has become so strong, he still gently encourages her, so he was still the same Soo-young after all. A few moments later, Soo-young was given his 5-star third job change mission, and he commented that the new mission has stepped up its intensity, giving him 2 tasks at once and so many restrictions. Bai Ling warned that he must be careful at that time, especially since there may be a red moon phenomenon recently, and he queried what the red moon was. She explained that red moon is a special phenomenon where monsters in the wild and in dungeons become more ferocious and bloodthirsty, especially in dungeons like the Ruined Mansion, where various spiritual creatures are the main inhabitants. They are the most affected by the red moon. The appearance of the red moon has no fixed pattern, but there will be some signs in the early hours of the day it appears, and at that time, the staff of the Adventurers Association will announce a notice so she would request him to pay attention, and he acknowledged that he got it. No matter how dangerous it is, in front of his actual 4th level strength, that would be just a walk in the park. But unfortunately, he couldn't tell Bai Ling, so he could only let her worry in vain. The Ruined Mansion is a Platinum Tier secret realm that has the recommended level of level 60 or above, and the place used to be the mansion of a high-ranking official where legend has it that he was cursed and went mad, killing everyone in the mansion overnight and turning into a terrifying, devouring ghost, haunting the deepest part of the mansion. It is said that any creature that attempts to enter the mansion will become the official's next prey. A few moments later, the guard groaned and complained that he actually dozed off and just woke up. He cursed that it was so ominous and the red moon couldn't have come earlier or later but had to choose the day he got drunk. But logically, since no one usually comes to the ruined mansion, there shouldn't be a big problem. He should set up a warning and go back for another drink. But the system notified the guard that it was currently in battle and was unable to respond, so he demanded who was so reckless as to enter the dungeon during the red moon. A little while ago, Soo-young entered the ruined mansion and started fighting with the monsters. He quickly defeated 2 Ghost Child and earned 3,023 experience points in total. He remarked that the Red Moon dungeon is not a big deal, but to his surprise, the 2 ghosts started screaming and releasing powerful flames. He exclaimed what was going on. The monsters transformed into level 70 Mad Ghost Child. He considered if they had mutated and if it was the true effect of the Red Moon. The speed had increased a lot. One of the Mad Ghost children started to stick its tongue out. It used the tongue to attack Soo-young, and even though he blocked it, he still groaned in pain. They started screaming again. He warned that they should stay away from him. He used his skill, Demon Blade, to eliminate them. Their heads started to swell. It exploded, and their purple blood rained down on him. The system notified him that his sanity value decreased by 10. And when the sanity value reaches 0, he will fall into irreversible madness, so it requested for him to be cautious, which caused him to ponder why it suddenly turned into a Lovecraftian scene. It looked like he really underestimated the effect of that red moon because the monsters have significantly increased in both attack and defense, and they have sneakily added a sanity system. He used his skill, Demon Blade Sword Rain. He will have to be careful from that point onward. He moved forward, encountered skeletal monsters, and he managed to eliminate them. He also encountered a monster that looked like a huge rock. He encountered a female ghost and fought with it. A few moments later, with 6,100 sanity and 20% mana left, he muttered that only being able to use magic attacks is such a pain because mana recovery is a bit slow and the sanity value is making him start to lose focus. He inquired how much longer until he reached the boss. Suddenly, huge fingers emerged from the ground, which surprised him. It was a level 82 elite zombie giant. He wanted to clear the dungeon with his own strength, but they were forcing him to cheat. He used his legendary summoning stone. He summoned 2 lunar wolf spirits and defeated the zombie giant. The lunar wolf spirits were at level 125. He concluded that it was an instant kill, and as expected of a legendary summon, it was a complete power gap in a platinum tier dungeon. He extended his hand to one of the lunar wolf spirits. He remarked that fortunately, summoned beasts don't have loyalty issues, so with those 2 high-level fighters, even if he goes head-to-head with the expedition group in real-life PK, he won't be afraid at all. Although it might disrupt the game's balance a bit, he is sorry but not sorry that he is going to steamroll everything at that moment. A few moments later, he stood in front of a room. He observed that it looks like it was the boss's room, and it sure took him a while to find it. The boss should open the door because it was a room check. The boss, a devouring spirit ghost, begged for forgiveness and confessed that he is guilty. As he wondered if there was even a cutscene, the devouring spirit ghost admitted that he had committed too many murders. It was a level 90 undead boss, and he declared that on that day, he would commit one more and laughed maniacally. But he was quickly attacked by the lunar wolf spirits, and he screamed in pain while he took damage. Soo-young instructed that they shouldn't kill him outright and they should leave some health so he could finish him off. Looking at the boss level, which is almost on par with the diamond tier dungeon boss, the red moon boost is terrifying, and if it weren't for them, he might have been wiped. He was still not strong enough to keep his perfect 5-star job advancement, so he needed to become stronger. The system notified him that he had killed a level 90 boss, so he gained 98,322 experience and the dropped equipment, Platinum Tier Ghost Dagger and Ghost Fire Ring, Devouring Spirit Ghost Soul Core, and Devouring Spirit Ghost Resentment. Platinum Tier equipment no longer interests him, but the Devouring Spirit Ghost Soul Core looks good, and although an 80-point boost in Spirit isn't much for him at the moment, it might be better used as an ingredient for potions. It was alright, and it was time to head to the next mission site. Meanwhile, Luo Linger and the Heavenly Mechanism Pavilion members were waiting outside the ruined mansion. She wondered if those people who accidentally entered the ruined mansion were still not done. Liu Sai speculated if maybe there are still some stragglers hiding and running away and commented that the ruined mansion under the influence of the Red Moon isn't something ordinary people could handle and only someone like her could. She replied that she didn't want to hear that nonsense and demanded which guild those people are from, how many people are there, and how long they have been inside. She pressed if he could tell her that, and he stumbled on his words. Zhu Tai chimed in that he did know the time. The dungeon raid has been going on for half an hour, but he has consulted all the A-level and B-level guilds in Tianling City, and they all clarified that it was not their people inside, so the situation is still unclear. The ruined mansion under the Red Moon is as tough as a diamond tier dungeon, so even she has to be careful, and by that time, those inside should have been torn apart by the monsters, so she contemplated why anyone hasn't come out yet and who they could possibly be, but her reflections were interrupted by a loud booming sound. Liu Sai observed that the portal was reacting and someone was coming out. Unaware of his surroundings, Soo-young let out a sigh of relief and commented that the dungeon was exhausting, mentally and physically. He was surprised when he saw Zhu Tai and the others, and Zhu Tai was surprised as well. He speculated why the expedition group was there and if they discovered his real identity and set a trap for him. On the other hand, Luo Linger was wondering if there was only one person and concluded that he was So Young, while Zhu Tai recognized that it was him again. Su Young queried what they were all doing there so late at night. He remarked that it was just a small platinum-level secret realm, so there is no need for so many big shots to come there. But the guard probed why he was even asking if he didn't know it was the Red Moon that night, and he ran into the dungeon alone and if he had a death wish. He noted that though the dungeon was pretty grim, he challenged if it was really that serious, and the guard responded, of course, and if he died in there, he can't even imagine what kind of punishment he would face. Luo Linger suddenly declared that the guard should shut up and step back. She inquired if it was he who cleared the dungeon alone, and as he replied that he cleared it and pressed if there was a problem, the guard requested for her to go ahead. She commented that clearing the Red Moon's ruined Manhwa alone. His strength is indeed impressive, but he should hand over the crystal core that dropped from the boss he killed and name his price. He insisted that she should wait a minute, interrogated who she was, and grilled if he should give it to her just because she requested. The bodyguard demanded if he knew who he was talking to. He denied and challenged if he should. She observed that he is insolent and he should open his eyes wide and take a good look because standing before him is the youngest genius of the Global Beastmaster Association, the precious daughter of the master of Tianji Pavilion, the stunning beauty who captivates countless talents, Luo Linger, and he dared to ignore her generous request, so he must be punished for insolence. But she groaned in pain when Luo Linger suddenly hit her in the head. Luo Linger proclaimed that she should stop that madness. Su Young reflected that she was actually the daughter of the master of Tianji Pavilion, and she does have a lot to be proud of, but it doesn't seem like she is there to target him, so he pondered if he may ask what she has to say. She added that she originally just wanted to find some top-grade food for her spirit horse, and she didn't expect him to get it first, and it has been many years since anyone dared to talk to her like that, so she must commend his courage. If he could withstand her soul-hunting falcon for 3 minutes, she would pretend nothing happened. He queried if that wasn't a bit unreasonable. Liu Sai uttered that he was doomed for daring to offend the young lady, but Zhu Tai surmised that it was not necessarily the case because if he could clear the Red Moon dungeon alone, his true strength must be at least 4th tier. The falcon used its skill, Blade Storm. Su Young contemplated that it wasn't just fast. It could also attack from a distance, so simply defending isn't going to work. He didn't want to reveal his strength, but he had no choice at the moment. He used the Shadow's Bloodlust, and Liu Sai recognized it. The falcon pierced through his illusion. He used his skill, Soul Mark. He pressed if it hadn't been 3 minutes yet. Luo Linger challenged him for daring to kill her spirit beast. He replied that she told him to last 3 minutes. She didn't say he couldn't kill. He probed if she was so used to throwing her weight around that she doesn't even understand basic principle while reasoning that if it really comes down to a fight, he is not afraid of her even with forbidden spells in hand. She was enraged, and she released her powerful aura. He considered that she was strong. Suddenly, Zhu Tai called her and stated that his identity is special so she can't start a fight. She queried what identity he had, and Zhu Tai informed that he is a VIP at the temple and a gold member of the X-Alliance. The Grand Court explicitly instructed them to handle his matters carefully. She probed if it could be that he also completed the 5-star job transfer quest by having both identities, and noticing that she said also, he posed whether she was a VIP at the temple too. She explained that she was until the 4th tier and reflected that back then, she barely completed the first 3 tiers with the entire help of Tianji Pavilion. But he completed it alone, and he looked so relaxed doing it. He wondered how that was possible. He asserted that she should know the special nature of that identity, so if there was nothing else, he would be on his way. She concluded that they should go back, and everyone agreed. Liu Sai queried if that was it, and she challenged what else was there and if he was planning to rob a temple VIP and oppose the temple. He affirmed that he won't dare, and they will listen to her, while Su Young surmised that he didn't care if she was the young lady of Tianji Pavilion because that wasn't so great, and she should just wait until he tames the Black Dragon. She will see who the boss is. He should forget about her for the time being because he should go kill the Earth Dragon next, and once that is done, the hidden quest hint should appear. The next day, Tianji Pavilion went to the fractured rock layer entrance where the Rock Abyss Earth Dragon was. Zhu Tai indicated that it was good because it looked like no one had come to tackle that Earth Dragon yet. He pointed out that after all, Luo Linger had instructed them beforehand to reserve the challenge slot, and Liu Sai answered that they took care of that immediately, of course. She voiced that although its level is quite low, it is still a rare dragon-type world boss, so they should use it to get some practice. But the guard warned not to cut the line because there were others ahead of her. She gave Liu Sai a cold stare. He swiftly grilled the guard for daring and pressed if he even knew who he was talking to. He answered that they reserved their slot early and there were no other teams before them at that time. But the guard elaborated that he is just an ordinary staff member and he doesn't have the guts to mess with them. He clarified that it was because a temple VIP used their privilege to cut in line ahead of them. That is how the system shows it, and there is nothing he could do about it. Luo Linger expressed that if the staff is causing trouble, they should just replace them, while Su Yang was behind her and he commanded that the people should make way. They shouldn't delay his dungeon run. He was intrigued when he saw her and wondered why it was her again.
Liu Xi pressed Su Yang with a jab about why he kept hovering like some pesky fly that wouldn't quit, but Su Yang fired back that the lane was his turf, and bumping into them twice in a row made it feel like they were the ones scheming against him. Luolinger shot back that he shouldn't puff himself up like he mattered, and while she questioned whether she'd ever waste her energy targeting him, she tossed in that he better not think the temple's privileges made him invincible, because if he ever flubbed his class transfer, his tail would stop dead right there. He thanked her with a sharp-edged bite for the reminder, but countered that she didn't need to lose sleep over him, then prodded her about why the young lady of the Tianji Pavilion had wandered into such a bottom-tier wild boss zone, hinting if it was just for the thrill of stomping weaklings. Zhou Tai explained she was gearing up to tame the Black Flame Wing, and the Earth Dragon was nothing more than a warm-up, so he urged Su Yang not to derail her plans. But Su Yang apologized with a thin grin and declared that the Earth Dragon tied straight to his class transfer, leaving him zero reason to give it up. Luolinger conceded with a curt fine and told him to carry on, though she flared a warning that once she subdued the Black Flame Wing, not even the transfer temple could keep him safe. And he retorted that she should quit spouting fantasies and just stick around for the next boss respawn. He tossed out a blunt goodbye. Luolinger's bodyguard muttered that he strutted around like some crude barbarian, while Zhou Tai pressed if Su Yang truly meant to charge in all by himself. He shot back by asking if they seriously pictured him soloing the boss and told them flat that they should just wait quietly for the next respawn. Meanwhile, Su Yang had already hacked down the monsters clogging the dungeon. He weighed whether Luolinger aimed to tame the Black Dragon, and judged that with her raw power plus the muscle of an exploration squad, she might just nail it, and with her lofty status she surely carried some hidden ace, so he knew he had to crank up his pace. He then questioned if this beast was really the Rock Abyss Earth Dragon, noting it looked more like a supersized lizard than any dragon, and in his eyes, it was leagues beneath the Black Flame Wing. The Rock Abyss Earth Dragon clocked in at level 61. He muttered that even without Wolf Spirit and Demon Blade, swinging a Starlight-grade weapon packed enough bite. He activated his Soul Mark and smashed a strike right into the dragon's skull. He barked that its defense sat sky high. He demanded if all dragonkind packed that same dirty move. He vaulted onto the dragon's tail. From there, he ripped out chain strikes step by step until he clambered back to its head. When he reached the skull, he hurled himself upward. He pressed if he'd nailed it right that the minerals no longer shielded the spot. The dragon's HP nosedived to 50%, and he remarked that it was perfect since he had chopped its health in half, so the only move left was to keep pressing forward. The system promptly alerted him with a blunt ping that the dragon had snapped into full berserk mode. He pressed, half rattled, if this insane charge counted as dragon charge. The beast rolled like a runaway boulder across the ground, and he barely twisted clear of its crushing path. He blurted that no way this was real and demanded if it actually came with homing guidance too. He muttered to himself that swinging any attack in this chaotic mess felt hopeless, so he forced his brain to cook up another angle, piecing together that Dragon Charge had to be the boss's big flashy phase transition at the halfway mark, which meant there had to be some sneaky mechanic to cut it off, so he racked his head trying to pin down what the hidden clue might be. He spotted the granite wall looming just beside the arena and remarked that the thing was basically an obvious neon sign screaming a hint in his face. He flicked a quick glance over his shoulder, sharp and wary. He slid sideways in time as the dragon lunged full force, letting the beast slam head first into the granite wall with bone-shaking impact. The monster staggered, dazed and spinning like it had been punched into a drunken haze, and the system instantly chimed in that the crash left it stunned, tacking on a juicy 20% boost to all incoming damage. He growled under his breath that there was no way he'd hold back now. Outside, the exploration team lingered lazily near the dungeon's entrance. Liu Xi pressed Zhou Tai if they were seriously planning to just keep standing around, and Zhou Tai snapped back that if he had gripes, he could go try telling the young lady to her face. Meanwhile, Luolinger's bodyguard grumbled that they ought to ditch this pointless wait and probed her if she honestly believed Su Yang had any shot at soloing a boss, and Luolinger coolly remarked there was no rush since she wanted to watch exactly how far he could stretch it. Their jaws dropped when the system abruptly blasted up the ranking board, showing Su Yang alone had downed the boss and stolen first place. Liu Xi erupted that the guy really soloed a boss and even smashed the kill record, barking how that could be possible and swearing it reeked of cheating, while Zhou Tai cut in demanding what the hell that racket was about. He announced flat as stone that he was already on his way out. Su Yang strolled up, cool and armored, and questioned why they were still hanging around, while he stood decked head to toe in the Rock Abyss Earth Dragon armor, helmet, and leg guards. Everyone froze stiff, completely shocked into silence. Lucy I broke first, cracking into laughter, and Su Yang pressed him to spit out what exactly was so funny. He cursed inwardly that he should have cleared his inventory earlier since the bag had maxed out without him catching it, which forced him to strap on the bulky Earth Dragon set. And the worst part was how absurdly ugly the whole thing looked. He challenged them again, barking what was funny and daring that if they had the guts, they could try setting a solo record at his level. Luo Linger conceded the guy had raw talent, but she taunted what was worth bragging about, with just an Earth Dragon when her aim was locked on something way nastier. He countered sharp as a blade, with a claim that if that was her stance, then he'd just go tame the Black Dragon before she could blink. She jolted like she'd been struck. She pressed hard if he was joking and who exactly he thought he was. He declared without flinching that his name was Su Yang, not just a VIP at the Transfer Temple, but also the one destined to tame the Black Dragon. The system instantly pinged Su Yang with a brisk notice that the 5-star job change task had been nailed, and once the Rust Key and the blood of the Rock Abyss Earth Dragon got properly verified, it spelled out that the hidden job change had kicked in. The Hidden Job Change Series Stage 2, Glory of Blood. He muttered to himself with a faint thrill that the hidden task had finally shown up. It threw him the task description, laying it out in full detail that buried deep in the Speely Mountains lurked an underground prison nobody dared touch. A place once twisted into the forbidden laboratory of a powerful wizard who toyed with the dreadful force of blood, the glory of blood. He recalled how Sleepy Mountain leaned against the border of Tianling City, where monsters strutted around with higher levels than those crawling in the Wild Spirit Mountains. Though he figured that still wouldn't stop him. The system flatly confirmed the task items in black and white, and staring at the bold task title, he figured those strange trinkets in his possession were bound to matter. In his grip rested the Rust Key and the blood of the Rock Abyss Earth Dragon. He remarked casually that he had errands to clear, so he would catch Luo Linger later, while deciding he would settle the transformation first before diving headlong into the mission. Luo Linger's bodyguard grumbled bitterly that he carried himself way too arrogantly, while Zhou Tai leaned close to Luo Linger to press her about what move they should pull next. Luo Linger instructed both of them sharply to tail Su Yang tight over the next few days, and the instant he geared up for the next step in the job change, they had to report back to her without stalling. They shot back quick agreement. Meanwhile, Su Yang announced with calm satisfaction that the transformation had finally locked in. His armor slid away from view, folding neatly into his ordinary clothes. He noted with dry amusement that the set still delivered fair value, despite its clunky look, and after this transformation, it should carry him steady until the 4th job change. With his current strength stacked high, wasting borderless gems on platinum gear would be foolish. So now he set his focus on the real challenge. He trekked towards Sleepy Mountain, a place shrouded in fog every single day, whispered about as the final resting ground of countless beings, tagged with a recommended level range of 70 to 90. He grumbled under his breath about the fog clamping down so thick he could barely make out anything. No wonder the place got slapped with the name Sleepy Mountains, the whole stretch dripping with a cold stillness like a graveyard. It was supposed to eventually lead him into the underground prison, though he cursed softly, griping at how ridiculously far the path stretched. He conceded bluntly that it was going to chew up plenty of time. He figured he would have to hack his way through the mobs stacked along the route. But before he swung once, Zhang Yan cleaved the monster straight in half with a clean stroke. She tossed him a breezy greeting, teasing him as a handsome boy, and checked if he was holding up fine. She stood tall as a level 75 Thunder Swordmaster, and she pressed him lightly on what business dragged him into the Sleepy Mountains at his current level, and if he had wandered into the wrong playground. He thanked her for stepping in, and replied that he was there for a task. And she probed further on what kind of task could drag him into the Sleepy Mountains at level 60, even wondering if he had been tricked. She added that she came to grind materials for her 4th job change, so she proposed he tag into her squad and let Big Sister carry him. But he declined, explaining his task shut the door on team play, so he had to take it solo. He bid her goodbye with steady assurance that he could handle it alone, and she pressed again, curiosity biting hard about what kind of mysterious task he was chasing. On the other hand, Su Yang tossed out an apology in his trademark half-serious, half-dismissive fashion. And he remarked with a smirk that cheating sounded a whole lot more like his personal brand than slogging through stiff, proper gameplay. He swung around toward the spirit wolf and urged with easy confidence that it should step up and take point already. The beast ripped out its blood-stained skill with brutal sharpness. It instantly followed that with a high-speed charge, smashing forward like a battering ram. Catching that weird flicker off its aura, Su Yang pressed with a hint of suspicion if the soul summoning stone was also bending under the red moon's sway, and he muttered that it looked fine for now, though he'd double-check with the job change artifact later in case the thing decided to blow up in his pocket. The spirit wolves barreled through the heavy fog draped across Sleepy Mountain. Out of nowhere, they screeched to a hard stop. Su Yang remarked with a sly grin that he had finally hit the spot and admitted it was tucked away freakishly well. As they stepped inside, he wrinkled his nose and demanded what that nasty stench was, snapping that it reeked like rotten carcasses. He then grimly wondered if there were really that many corpses stacked around, and as he noticed they all looked shriveled dry in a blink, he muttered, if this was the infamous glory of blood. He spat that it sure explained why not a single monster blocked their way, and he pressed the biting question if the wizard had wiped every last one by himself. A fierce beam of light pulsed from the skull of the wizard crouched at the core of a magic circle. Su Yang thrust out his hand without hesitation to snatch it, but in a grotesque twist, it warped into a level 75 zombie born of the dead wizard's resentment, once a deranged mage who chased the glory of blood, forced into death, but leaving behind festering spite, demanding trespassers' blood to fuel his husk. Yet the thing reeled in shock when the spirit wolves lunged before it could even twitch. Su Yang barked that it needed to shut the screaming since it grated on his ears. Moments later, the system chimed that he had crushed a special boss, snagging 213,211 experience points. He also scooped up the loot, Mad Wizard's experimental notes, and grumbled if it was just a dusty book before shrugging that he'd pop it open anyway. The notes laid out the twisted ravings of a deranged wizard who butchered human subjects by the hundreds with only 3 successes out of over 100. Then stacked 326 bodies to hit 60%, and finally ran 869 subjects to call it perfection, crowing that it was his moment. Su Yang scoffed if that lunatic actually cranked through mass human trials only to crash and burn in failure, and he snapped how that was supposed to do anything for him. Suddenly, the system blared detection of the task item, Mad Wizard's experimental notes, granting him the blood-blessing ritual. He chuckled that he knew a prize had to show up, and sure enough, there it was. It looked like a permanent buff, but considering the Mad Wizard had nuked himself with it, he pressed if it was reckless, then brushed it off, saying the system wouldn't drag in a human service rep just to wiggle out of a random hiccup. He claimed it, noting the instructions demanded the blood of a powerful creature. And since that lunatic only drained plain humans, no wonder he crashed. And as he muttered if he was right that he happened to have Earth Dragon blood on him, he remarked the hidden task practically spelled it out, which lined up neatly. But circling back to powerful creatures, he pressed who could stack up against the Black Flamewing right now and declared that a bold idea just struck him. Su Yang pressed the system on whether he could link up with the boss when there weren't any intruders prowling around the secret realm. And the system confirmed in a matter-of-fact way that as long as the connection count reset, the link could go through. But it also reminded him that if any intruders showed up, he'd be pinged right away. He figured that was solid news, and he ordered the wolves to stick around and keep watch, so no random outsiders came messing with the magic formation. After that, he directed the system to connect at once, and it gave a flat reply that it was linking to the boss and told him to hang tight. Meanwhile, Lilith lingered in the dungeon. She groaned that the whole situation left her unbearably bored. She griped about the Black Dragon, pointing out that it had promised her freedom, yet spent every single day snoozing without even twitching. She had been snatched away for ages, and only that shameless Lawrence had come to drag her out, which just proved the royal family couldn't care less about the so-called cursed princess. Out of nowhere, Su Yang emerged inside the Black Dragon, and when he ripped out a loud roar, she jumped in shock. She demanded to know why he was stomping around grumpy, and he brushed it off by declaring that roaring was just second nature. He insisted they get straight to business. He drove a strike into his own chest. Lilith reeled in horror. He figured the shimmering blood looked golden and instantly marked the Black Dragon as carrying noble lineage, so bleeding it out for the ritual would deliver stellar results. She demanded to know why he was hurting himself like that, and he brushed her off with a casual remark that it was nothing, just him getting carried away and letting a bit spill. She pressed him, poking at whether he was wound up because some little female dragon had ditched him in a dream, which made him puzzle over what female dragon she was even going on about. He turned it back on her, needling if she was actually worried about him, but she snapped that no one gave a damn, and she was only nosy, so he better not overthink. He decided the amount looked sufficient, and the system chimed in that the black dragon's essence blood had been safely tucked into the warehouse. He announced the job finished and flopped back to say he'd returned to sleep, and when she nagged if he was really dozing off again and still mooning over his so-called dragon, he waved her off and reminded her the next wave of enemies would come soon, so she needed to hold her patience. She quizzed him about those enemies. Then she huffed that he always spouted nonsense and passed out again right after. Back at Sleepy Mountain, Su Yang announced that he had returned, noticing casually that nobody seemed to have come poking around to interrupt. Next, following the laid-out task flow, he knew he should drag himself to the dead center of the blood formation. He reminded himself that he should swallow the blood essence of some beastly powerhouse, though what would happen afterward was a complete toss-up. He muttered that fortune always favored the bold, so he figured he might as well dive in. He jolted when agony ripped through his body out of nowhere. He groaned heavily, his knees hitting the ground, while waves of torment racked him. He cried out that the heat was unbearable. His throat, his body, and even his head felt like everything inside was melting into fire. Out of nowhere, dark blood floated lazily into the air. He cursed inwardly that the blood wrapped around him like it wanted to consume and fully absorb him. The spirit wolves grew restless, worried, and they barked sharp growls at that sinister blood. But Su Yang barked back that they should keep their distance. He claimed bluntly that it was just another step of the ritual, where the weak had no right to a blessing from the strong, since only those tough enough could actually grow stronger through the brutal tempering of pain. The chrysalis locked itself in place, the process finally shaping into completion. The spirit wolves stood tense, keeping guard while their gazes locked onto him. They flinched when an explosion of bright light suddenly tore free from his crystallized body. He declared that the ritual of the blood blessing had at last been finished. The brittle crystals shattered and broke off from his frame. He admitted that it felt like a total life overhaul, one even greater than the boost he scored after his earlier job changes. He gauged quickly that he could now go toe-to-toe with a fighter at the 5th tier. The system chimed in to notify that the use of the Black Dragon's essence blood to cap off the blood blessing ritual boosted every single attribute by 50% and unlocked a brand new primordial black flame. He remarked that the flame was vicious, raw destruction and power in its purest form, and while being the boss never impressed him much, clutching this power let him grasp why the Black Dragon's force had terrified fighters into despair. Power created fear. The weak naturally bowed to the strong, and even animals knew that brutal law by instinct. He figured it was time to test the might of that black flame. He snapped his fingers, and instantly the flame flooded across the room. He exclaimed that it was far too overwhelming. The flame roared wildly, and they had no choice but to sprint outside fast. A deafening boom tore through the place as the flames burst from the prison entrance while the wolves launched themselves clear. The wolves hit the ground safely, landing without harm. Su Yang muttered that the secret of the blood blessing was now buried forever, so he couldn't recycle it again, which was a shame, and he admitted he had to learn to rein in that kind of strength the next time. It seemed about time to swap jobs, but then Zhang Yan shouted for help. He wondered aloud if someone was indeed crying out, and as he noted that the voice hit him as familiar, he asked if it might be that female swordsman from earlier. Zhang Yan warned them not to come any closer, tossing a sharp glare as she declared she would kill them all if they dared take another step. Lei Pu chuckled that it was dangerous for a pretty girl to wander alone and tease that she should let her big brother protect her instead. She snapped that they were despicable and demanded if they weren't scared that the Transfer Association would punish them for their crimes and if there was any law left in this world. But Wang Xiaoer barked out who she was trying to scare and bragged that they already had blood on their hands, while Chen Jin added that the association blacklisted them long ago, barring them from towns, then mocked if she truly believed they cared about laws anymore. Lei Pu grinned and bragged that after hunting for over a month, a fat sheep finally walked up to him, sweet and small, like a heavenly reward. If she pleased them well enough, he bragged that he might even throw her a tip. She steeled herself, deciding she would rather end her life than endure such humiliation. Out of nowhere, Lei Pu's hand was sliced clean off. He went pale, trembling with terror. Su Yang stepped forward, remarking that he had heard rumors about a pack of outlaws hunting lone players and didn't expect to run into them that day, then casually demanded how they preferred to die. Lei Pu screamed to capture him, ranting that he'd carve him apart piece by piece, while Chen Jin jeered that the kid was already dead. Zhang Yan shouted that Su Yang should run and not mind her, since he was no match for them. Su Yang quirked a brow, muttering that if there were 4 fourth-class transfers, he might have needed to use a legendary item before. Wang Xiaoer gasped, blurting out how the kid could move so fast. Su Yang smirked, realizing he wasn't the man he used to be. With an effortless motion, he sent the 3 transfers flying through the air. Lei Pu, panicked, screamed that Su Yang should die. To his horror, Su Yang caught the blow with his dagger and shattered his sword in half with a flick. Lei Pu gawked at the fragments, stammering that his platinum-grade greatsword broke at a touch, and guessing the dagger must be a star-grade weapon. He sneered that the kid was even more valuable than the woman, and must be loaded with treasures. Chen Jin cackled that they were about to get rich. Su Yang remarked that greed truly knew no limit, and asked if they weren't afraid they wouldn't live long enough to enjoy their loot. He declared that people like them deserved no mercy. Blue fire roared to life, swallowing the outlaws whole. He unleashed his shattering inferno, and the system chimed that he earned 22,314 experience points for the kills. He looted a strawberry-flavored rubber ring, an SM restraint set, and a black bodysuit, grimacing that the perverts had met a fitting end. The flames of the black flame wings blazed with terrifying might. He turned to Zhang Yan, asking if she was okay, and she demanded to know what that power was. He brushed it off as a secret and politely asked her to forgive his silence. She admitted she hadn't expected him to be that strong, and that she was being self-righteous before, thanking him for saving her, and confessed she would have taken her life without his help. He couldn't help admiring her resolve. She realized she hadn't asked his name, and he introduced himself as Su Yang. She blinked, repeating his name and mentioning that An Yu had talked about him. Yu Yun and the others had been partying recently, and An Yu, drunk and boastful, bragged to everyone that Su Yang soloed a boss, an impressive feat that spread through the crowd. He groaned inwardly, realizing it was that loudmouth An Yu again. He asked if she had a return scroll and told her he'd leave if she was fine, and she nodded, thanking him. She added with a faint smile that he was quite an interesting guy. Moments later, Su Yang arrived at the Transition God statue. It examined the status of his 5-star Mage Warrior 3rd-class task, Proof of Magic's Duality, and confirmed completion of the Magic Strength and 2nd stage of the Hidden Transfer Task series. Once the scan finished, it began the transfer ritual. He received the statue's blessing, his life force surged, and all base attributes increased by 25%. His 3rd transfer was complete, raising his level cap to 80, granting 25 base points per level. It detected 7.2 million stored experience, raising him to level 72 and awarding 300 free points. He advanced to Arcane Mystic Weapon, receiving 300 Strength and Spirit points, along with the legendary Mage Warrior passive skill book. He murmured that he was advancing to a new class, noting the Arcane Mystic Weapon skills were tailor-made to counter mages. He unlocked Nullify All Magic, a counter to spell attacks, and gained Arcane Armor. He opened the skill book and acquired Dual Cultivation, which boosts physical damage by 1% per 10 strength and magic damage by 1% per 10 spirit. He grinned that the skill mirrored dual spirit enhancement, and with his stats, his physical damage jumped by 248% and magic by 159%, making him capable of crushing the Rock Abyss Earth Dragon effortlessly, even without skills. Bai Ling congratulated him, noting his power reached a new height, but he noticed she looked troubled and pressed her for the reason. She explained that the transfer temple in Dongling City only supports up to 3rd-class transfers, meaning he would have to continue in Tianling City, and just thinking about parting from him left her hollow inside. But then, the Transition God statue glowed, and she gasped, wondering if it was a divine blessing. She closed her eyes, accepting the radiance fully. Su Yang thought the sight resembled a blood blessing ceremony, except this one felt holy instead of vile. Cracks spread through the chamber. Bai Ling stepped out with radiant wings, and the system announced her blessing was complete. She had ascended to a 5th-class temple priestess and must now report to Tianling City. Su Yang asked if she truly reached 5th class, and she explained that temple priests advanced differently than transfers, but it meant she could stay by his side, which made him quietly thrilled. She admitted fatigue and asked to rest, which he allowed without hesitation. He assured her that he felt safer with her there. They agreed to head to Tianling City together.